Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back if you are a loyal subscriber. My name is Afton and I'm Monty's Tarot Child, and today I have a very special pick a card for you. I know I say this every time that I'm here, but I feel like every pick a card is just as special as the last. And in this one, we are looking at an apology that you needed to hear. This could be past or present tense, in any situation that is bringing about some sort of difficulty in your life where you felt as if someone owes you an apology. For this reading, I would like for you to take only what resonates to you and your situation and leave the rest, because every situation will be completely different from the next. I just wanted to take a look at the energy and see what it is that Spirit and I can offer you as a form of an apology, especially if you feel as if you are not going to be able to receive one in a difficult situation in your life. Whether someone is in the right or the wrong is not what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at what is needed to comfort your soul, what is needed to ease your spirit in order for you to be able to move forward and away from whatever difficulties the situation is bringing you, okay? So this is just an apology. This is just something to clear your spirit and offer you the ability to give forgiveness, even if you never speak to another person or party again, okay? I'd love for you to just take a moment to pause and meditate on which one of these 4 piles is most energetically connected to you and aligned with your energy. And I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful howlite crystal. So gorgeous. And I'm going to put it right off to the side so we can get started with your reading. So I channeled an emotion out of a deck that is filled with descriptive sentences around what emotion it is that you could possibly be feeling. So I will start your message there. You have eager. It will happen, and you are aware it will be happening. These thoughts take you away from this moment that needs to be focused upon, okay? So interesting energy that is coming out for you. Eager is not necessarily always viewed as a negativity. Sometimes being eager is a positive thing, but it can border on that, oh, I'm eager, but also I'm anxious, I'm worried, and I'm keeping my eyes peeled for something that I already know will happen. So where does the apology come in? I feel like you've been waiting, and whatever it is that you've been waiting on, whether it be an actual apology from a person or the reconnection between you and another person, it is keeping you away from moments that need your focus and your presence. And I will get into how this is affecting you, what is coming up. But overall, I see this energy of eagerness that is so strong, that is so potent in your life that it almost feels like anxiety, or just you sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for someone or something to happen first. And as the card mentions, you are aware it will be happening. So maybe someone has asked you for some time to separate and come back to you and communicate in a way that is more receptive, like a more receptive conversation. It could be that is what is needed here. And while you are waiting for this person, this situation to appear and offer you the things that you are so eager to be offered, you are kind of distracted. And it could be a distraction from just current relationships that already exist in your life that need your presence, that need your attention, and they can see that you are distracted by something or someone, but you're very eager for something to happen, and it will. So I'm going to look and see through the oracle what this message is for you, pile number 1, and how you are receiving this apology that you needed to hear. So for pile number 1, please, Spirit, an apology that they needed to hear around this eagerness, please, Spirit. Pile number 1. Okay. So you have the Sunstone as the first card out, which is beautiful. The Sunstone is connected to leadership, confidence, and freedom. It is also connected to the zodiacs Leo and Libra, and connected to the planet Sun, or the Sun, of course. Sunstone shines bright, igniting willpower underneath the sun's ray. A stone of leadership, Sunstone gives you the courage to step out on your own and dare to make a difference. Radiating warmth and vitality, Sunstone brings confidence to the beholder and is known to bring good luck. Fortuitous in nature, Sunstone brings out your natural talents, allowing you to shine like the star you are. Sunstone helps fulfill karmic contracts, alleviating pressures around a sense of purpose or fulfillment. Abundance will flow once you nurture your gifts, okay? So it's very interesting that the Sunstone is coming out because it's talking about shining regardless. That is absolutely what the sun does, whether people take a moment to recognize the sun and honor it and say thank you for rising and falling for us in your natural state. The sun does what it does. And so a part of this apology that is being offered to you is somehow drawing you closer to your natural abilities and gifts that you have been called to nurture. Again, your focus is elsewhere. So I feel like a lot of creativity has laid by the wayside while you have been waiting again for this reconnection, or this conversation to happen. And I think as it is offered to you, no matter how it's brought up again in your life, it's not necessarily something that feels like a burden or feels negative in any sense, because the Sunstone is a really positive card to get out as like the card to back up this eagerness. And I feel as if once you receive this information, again, this conversation that feels very important to you, you start to shine your light a little bit more. Even if, again, you've been waiting around, you've been dimming your light, your focus has been drawn somewhere else. You still have this vitality about you that other people miss. They see it, they sense it from you. You're very bright. You're very sun-like. So you bring warmth and vitality to any room that you're in. You're a very confident person. And sometimes it just takes you being reintroduced to that confidence. And the situation, it has definitely drawn you inwardly. It has kept you introverted in a more sense. And as you are eager for the things that are absolutely bound to happen, you are shining again. You're reawakening, igniting again. And what else do I see here in this? The courage to step out on your own and dare to make a difference. While you are so eager to have a specific conversation, I do see that either way, you're kind of trying not to focus every ounce of your attention on it. It's like there's a part of you that really does want to step out away from the situation, let it come to you when it's ready, let it, be there for you when you are ready to once again give so much attention to it. You kind of want to step back from that and do your own thing, try something new in order to make a difference in a different situation in your life, a different arena of your life. And so maybe this could be around your creativity, where you've put relationships on this pedestal and you miss being creative. You miss sharing your creativity with other people, the receptive people in your life. And so you're trying to get back to that again, while also holding on to the fact that there is a situation trying to close in your life, and you're eager to accept it at this point. And I forgot to show you the Sunstone at the back of the card, which is always so beautiful. Gorgeous. But you also have another crystal. You have citrine spirit quartz, which looks like this. Gorgeous. I hope you can see that well. And it's connected to intentionality, self-awareness, and discernment. And connected to all zodiac signs and connected to the sun and the moon. So this card says, a centered and empowered stone, citrine spirit quartz, asks that you take command over your life. By having clear intentions, you can begin to lead from a grounded and assertive place, giving you the results that complement your needs. Citrine spirit quartz enhances your sense of self-awareness, dissolving apprehension and self-doubt to clear the way for more confidence in your daily life, no matter what material things you may or may not possess. It is highly focused, an excellent stone for planning and goals, okay? So you are absolutely gaining your focus back. It is clear. You're gaining a huge level and amount of confidence back. It is like these two crystals are very much so aligned in their energetic, like the energy that they hold. Yes, they're very aligned. I see a lot of solar plexus. Is that the one? Solar plexus? No. Sacral. I see a lot of sacral chakra energy here. And this is right at the base of your stomach, right before you reach your root chakra. It is heavily connected to your root chakra, but it's like this expression of life and passion and creativity. It is also your procreating, or I was going to say recreating for some reason, but that procreation that humans tend to have, or us as animals. Yes, the humans are an animal species. But you are feeling this awakening happening within your gut, that it feels very intuitive for you to turn your attention in certain areas while you wait for other areas of your life to grow and to shift in regards to the situation that you have with another person. And it is actually like you are going to be surprised, I feel like, on how focused you feel when you start to turn your attention away from the things that aren't ready to be expressed just yet. You're going to be surprised. Because it mentions highly focused energy here for you as well. So I see you planning and goal setting just to try to get the energy moving again. Not that it's stagnant, but that it's like you were focused. You were very, very focused on something, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, but you are now focused on grounding yourself, centering yourself in your creativity and your right to create. You're becoming very self-aware of what it is that you have been doing. It's almost as if like you've been in like this trance-like state or asleep in some way. Again, waiting. And now you have this fire within you to kind of bring balance yourself in your own life and to see what has fallen out of balance while this connection or whatever has transformed in its own way. There's a lot here about you leading, being in leadership, taking command over a situation in your life. And again, that's not taking command over someone else's voice or how they show up to you. It is taking control over what you can absolutely control in your own life, not what someone else is doing or how they come off or how they appear or what they say to you. You're kind of over that, I feel like, over trying to encourage people to speak up and to offer you something that you absolutely could offer yourself. And you know this, you're becoming very aware of it. The discerning energy here, I I think that is connected to the self-doubt and the clearing of the self-doubt that you feel, and any apprehension that you feel of moving away from this situation, stepping back, as I mentioned. You're kind of not afraid to step back anymore out of fear of losing someone. You are kind of just like, I'm going to lose you either way, whether I step back or not, or if I stand too closely and I try to force your hand on the matter. So I'm just going to give you your space. Because I think that you deeply know that you deserve an apology, and you know that that other person knows it as well. So you're letting them figure it out. Yes, absolutely. You're letting them figure it out. You're being very intentional about your next steps. Again, you don't want to force anything, because that makes you doubt, like, oh, was this apology authentic? Was it genuine? Or do you just feel like you had to apologize in order to keep me in your life? It's like, no, you're being very clear about what it is that you need. And you're very eager, you're very hopeful and optimistic about how that's going to happen in your life. But you're saying to yourself, I have to allow this to happen. I have to let them come to me. And it's not on anything petty. I don't think either. Pile number one, I don't think you're being petty and you're holding your communication and you're saying, I won't speak to you until you apologize. That's not the energy that you're trying to recreate or build on. It is a simple fact of, I stated that this was a need for me, and I'm giving you the opportunity, I'm giving you the chance to either come to me with the energy that I need to receive, or to stay where you are, and we can agree to disagree, that we're just not meant to be in each other's lives. And of course, I cannot see the specific details of this, of this situation for you, but I feel it strongly, like you are trying to take the lead. You're trying to take the lead and show up how you want to be received, if that makes sense. At the bottom of the deck, you have Kyanite with truth, communication, and clarity, which is really beautiful. It is connected to the zodiacs Aries, Taurus, and Libra, and it is connected to the planets Jupiter and Neptune. So at the bottom of the deck, it says, speak your truth. Kyanite cuts through confusion, fears, and negativity and connects you to your most authentic self, soothing the soul. Kyanite sharpens your leadership skills and enhances communication skills, giving you the boost you need when addressing groups. Kyanite opens pathways and acts as a bridge from person to person, or even between dimensions, delivering telepathic messages. Kyanite is especially great for opening your throat chakra, bringing clarity and focus when you need it. So I feel like especially, I picked this up based on the telepathic messages, but especially if the other person is not near you, you haven't spoken in some time, you're just kind of holding out on the energy, on the hope. Send a telepathic message of, this is what I'm waiting on. I'm not angry at you necessarily. I am disappointed in the situation and how it turned out, but I am willing to communicate with you if you're willing to communicate with me. I think you're trying to be very clear in your communication so that there's no negativity that pops up out of miscommunication. There's no, you're not triggering someone's fears of abandonment or your own. You are just being very upfront, as clear and concise as possible, so that you don't have to then take the long way around trying to undo everything that your words have done. And you want that person to bring that energy in this as well. Like, you haven't spoken yet. I feel this, but you are manifesting this conversation to be as clear and concise as possible so that there is no confusion, or that you don't end up feeling like you are metaphysically harming your throat chakra when you're just trying to release. You're just trying to release and clear out what it is that needs to be cleared out. So especially when addressing groups, this could be a group of people or just one-on-one, as the card mentioned. But either way, I feel like your communication skills are enhancing. Your spirit guides are letting you know, like, you are absolutely manifesting the communication skills that you desire and that you know that you would like to have in this life. And the other party should honor that by also honoring their own communication techniques and observing how they show up. This all could have stemmed from miscommunication. It doesn't feel as if it was a fight. It feels as if there was something that was said that deeply hurt another person in one way or another. And I'm believing that you are the person because you're here looking for the apology that you needed. And it wasn't as if you are necessarily willing to turn your back on this person. I don't feel that in this energy with the sunstone and the citrine spirit quartz. I feel like this moment and the connection was meant to test both of your communication skills and to really show you how you're communicating to not only that person, but yourself internally and to other people about the situation as well, and how you are communicating. This situation is showing the both of you or whoever is involved in this with you, how you're communicating and why it's important to observe yourself in this way. Because you specifically, Pile 1, you know that you want to be a clear communicator. You've seen this communication in action. It doesn't necessarily make you feel very comfortable at all. And so and just picking up intuitive messages, you could have been, brought up in an environment where communication wasn't a priority or honest communication wasn't a priority. And you saw when it went wrong. You saw when things went wrong. And you've never been that person to want to live in that. And this is why you're so eager. You're ready for this miscommunication, this, tiff as they describe it, to end. You're ready. You're ready for it to resolve itself. And you're so eager that you were almost willing to, again, go and force it to be closed. And now you're learning a different approach. You're like, I want it to go this way. So I'm going to do everything that I need to do over here in order to manifest that possibility. So I'm going to work on how I communicate. I'm going to look at what it is that I say and how I say it, because tone matters. I'm going to look at all of the things that sounds like I'm being clear, or all of the ways that I feel like I'm being clear, and seek to find deeper clarity for the other person, but also for me, so that I know that I stood up and showed up for what it is that I needed the first time without confusion. So your affirmation says, I'm in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. I do absolutely believe that Spirit is guiding you through this, helping you with this, helping you to understand, there is a way for you to accept responsibility in this and still get what it is that you need and desire, if that makes sense. You are absolutely being guided through this transformational time. I'm really curious as to why that one was here for you. But at the bottom of the deck, it says, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. I definitely believe this is the guidance. Yeah. This is the guidance that Spirit is helping you to see beyond, again, the limits of fear, of abandonment, fear of miscommunication, fear of being misunderstood. They're helping you to see beyond those limits and to say, the more that you communicate, the more that you find ways to speak through love and with love. It is expanding your perception of every situation that you've been in now and in the past as well. Expanding your perception to know, oh, I have a lot of lead in this. I have a lot of lead in this on how, I want it to manifest. And so if I want this situation to manifest either staying open or closed, it depends on you, with clarity, I have to bring that. I can't just expect the other party to have the clarity that I'm not also bringing to the conversation. So your perception is expanding through this. Again, I felt that you were absolutely learning a lot from being in this discourse and from having this, challenging energy that you are very much so eager to close out. Before I start shuffling, you have the compassion at the bottom of the deck. I'm just going to read the affirmation. I see the good in others and help them see it in themselves. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that for you, because you don't hate this person. No, you don't. You're trying to channel in compassion because you're like, this is not how either one of us want to speak to each other, especially if we claim that we love each other. I want to speak to you like I love you, and I want you to speak to me in that same way. So you're seeing the good in them. You see the possibility, and again, they will come to you offering you this apology, a certain apology. And I think this is a large play on patience for you, just waiting and seeing how it transpires. And absolutely being in awe, especially by messages like this. I feel like pile number one, especially when things start to transpire for you, and if this is resonating deeply for you, I feel like this is a part of the awe that you feel of like seeing or feeling seen by the universe, to know that the situation that you're in is absolutely intentional in a way. It's absolutely intentional and not for no reason. But you have orange calcite, more orange, more sacral chakra. I do believe you could be doing a lot of sacral chakra meditations or affirmations to reawaken your creativity in some way. But you have sociability with the orange calcite. If you would like to be more outgoing, orange calcite is a crystal for you. It promotes warmth, friendliness, and a sunny disposition. If you're prone to shyness, orange calcite can help release social inhibitions and enhance confidence in group situations. Your cards are so loud. It also helps stimulate creativity and playfulness. Orange calcite is like a ray of sunshine. Like, wow. Affirmation: I'm confident in social settings. My warm-hearted and easygoing nature attracts friends into my life. Yes, shy is the word that is coming out for this. You're shy. You probably have a lot of social aspects to you that are more so internal, and not many people get to see it. But you're like the sun. You could have Leo placements because it is so strong in this reading. And I'm in awe of all the synchronicities. But you, through this situation, through the apology that you will receive, because I was here to bring you one, but it seems as if it is on its way to you in one form or another, you are starting to see like, wow, with this person or in this situation, I was very happy. I was outgoing. I was uninhibited by fear or shyness or solitude. And I'm channeling this confident self back into me. Yeah, I feel like with the miscommunication, again, you didn't end up hating this person, but I feel like it drew you back into your shell, kind of thinking about, how did this go wrong? What did I do to make this go wrong? How can I keep myself from repeating this in my other relationships? And that has kept you from showing up as authentically. People are missing your warm spirit. They're missing your sunny disposition and your friendliness. You are absolutely capable of all of that. And I feel like it's enhancing now. Again, it's been some time. For some reason, it feels like it's been some time since you felt social or wanting to be social, because you've kind of just wanted closure in this situation. You haven't felt like you've had the emotional capacity to handle this situation and also build new relationships or tend to the relationships in your life that are looking for you and looking for your energy. You've kind of been all consumed in this. So this could be like a miscommunication with a best friend that you've had for years, and I mean years. And this person kind of drew back away from you, and you're like, oh, I thought this was a relationship that was going steady in my life, that like I thought I was being a good friend. Again, the questions that were running through your mind, and you never know what that other person was dealing with in order for them to pull back from you either. Okay, that I feel like that's a part of your perspective expanding as well, being aware that maybe it wasn't me necessarily. Maybe I triggered something and they just had to handle that trigger. They just had to spend some time observing why it is that happened. But of course, you are eager to know, and this information will be coming to you soon, straight from the horse's mouth. At the bottom of the deck, you have selenite with purification. Such a beautiful crystal. Selenite derives its name from Selene, a Greek moon goddess. With its pure white, translucent light, selenite can help purify your auric field and raise the vibration of your environment. It opens up the crown chakra and connects you to your angels, spirit guides, and higher self. Selenite is one of the few stones that require no cleansing because it does not retain negative energy. Affirmation: as I purify my space, it gives me a clean slate so I can fill it with things of a higher vibration. Yes, this disconnection, it felt low vibrational. It felt difficult. Again, it depends on the situation. But it hasn't transformed you or how you approach people. I think it's just you needing a purification of your energy and your auric field, because you have somehow, like, there's just been energy that has attached to you as you have been distracted or busy. So this is not necessarily that, people have negative energy has snuck into your life and you're not aware of it necessarily. It just means like you are having to cleanse your energy in order to receive things of a higher vibration. I may look and see why that is at the bottom of the deck. But it is at the bottom of the deck with the Kite again, because through confusion, fear, and negativity, it connects you to your most authentic self. I think that's also a part of it too. You're connecting with your most authentic self. You're purifying the energy so you are connected to yourself once again, knowing that you are a good friend or a good person, knowing that you are divinely creative and meant to express this and explore it in beautiful ways, and that you're meant to have people around you who encourage this beautiful expression from you. So let's see, through the tarot, what details can I get for pile number 1 around an apology that they are needing to hear at this moment, please, Spirit? Pile number 1. Pile number 1, please, Spirit. Quite a lot. Quite a lot. 4 swords. I'm going to keep shuffling. There's a lot of cards that wanted to come up for you, pile number 1. Any details about the eagerness that they feel? Interesting. It's like, no, I can't take 4. I just need 1, please, Spirit. Okay, I'll take 2. The Fool and the 10 of Swords. Wow. Wow. Beginnings and endings. The number 10 always connects you to an ending. And you have the Fool coming out first. So, to me, this tells me that you do have a new beginning and that there's some level of betrayal that you are looking to release and to set down. So let's see, because you have creativity here, like so strongly. And I feel as if you could have tried to start a creative endeavor or something with another person and it didn't go well. Maybe the other person wasn't ready or something of that nature. But, oh yeah, Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Absolutely. Like, I didn't even see this. So you could have definitely been trying to work with someone and you ended up taking a large bit of the workload mentally on your own shoulders, and that wasn't comfortable for you and you had a hard time speaking up. This is a specific example, and if it does not resonate for you, I will be going into more details soon. But because the Three of Pentacles is here, it's such a strong confirmation to say, like, this could have been work where you became friends with a coworker or you started working with a friend. Either way, you started taking on a lot of the burden mentally, and it has stifled your creativity. It has weighed down your mental space, and you have, hit the reset button, I feel like, or Spirit hit the reset button in your life for you, activating this new beginning and telling you, like, the only way to move forward is to release this betrayal, because the Ten of Swords is labeled as betrayal. It really is. Release this and move forward in your new beginning, understanding, like, and confidently understanding that what you have taken on is not your identity, that you are capable of handling a lot of different complicated and complex situations, but you don't have to. And especially if someone told you that you did, you don't. You absolutely don't. You have the Ace of Cups with feelings here. You have fought against the repressing of your feelings. You have fought against this urge to stifle yourself emotionally in order to keep the peace. So I feel like this Ace of Cups just tells me that you have, in this new beginning, you are really embodying emotional fulfillment, and saying, I have to leave space for what fills me up, for what, makes me feel alive, what makes me feel connected and present to my creative and abundant present. And if I'm overthinking, that's how I know that I'm being steered in a different direction than what I'm trying to manifest and what I'm asking for. The Ace of Cups also tells me, like, you have great feelings about this, guidance that you have been receiving. You've been getting really close, I feel like, to your spirit guides because they popped up somewhere. Oh yes, the selenite, keeping you connected to your angel, spirit guides, and higher self. You are in awe of this guidance and this connection. It fills you up with a lot of joy, a lot of optimism and hope for the future. And they will help you with anything. Your spirit guides, they will help you in any new beginning. They will help you in releasing anything that feels too strong. You also have the Ace of Wands with inspiration. You're absolutely feeling inspired. So yeah, the affirmation, I'm confident in social settings. My warm-hearted and easygoing nature attracts friends into my life. You're absolutely feeling inspired, and people are noticing this about you. They are. And at the bottom of inspiration is distraction. So you're definitely scratching that out of your life. You're not going to start doubting your creative abilities or doubting your speech, doubting your abilities because of someone else's lack. Because the Ten of Swords tells me that you've taken on a lot and that someone else has placed that onto your plate, or they haven't placed it onto your plate, but they left responsibilities lying around that you just couldn't simply let that happen. And I feel like this energy is apologetic of this Ten of Swords energy and breeding this in you and in your life. They don't want you to feel stressed or overwhelmed. Like, they too have to work in a comfortable environment. Yes, Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck with struggle and recovery. But the King of Wands, leader. Yeah. And so instead of you going off and telling people about themselves and like how they aren't doing a good job or anything like that, you definitely internalized in this situation with the tyrant being underneath leader. You internalize it because a good leader never blames the tools. They typically blame, their own leadership abilities and how those tools were supposed to be worked with, if that makes sense. So you are stepping into this new leadership position. Because it's so connected to work, it feels like you could be facing a new kind of promotion at your job that the other person will recognize that you deserve. They will recognize that you deserve it. I feel like they're trying not to say that you don't. They're never trying to say that you don't deserve this leadership. They just wish that they could have done better to be a leader. That may be a part of the process of where they had to step back and withhold their communication from you in order to figure out their own feelings around this situation. But no matter how it shows up for you in your life with this other person, they do see you as a leader. They do see you trying to start new things in your life. And they want to come back and clear up some uncertainty that you've had mentally around your abilities and around your feelings around your abilities, because they know how capable you are. They know how inspired you are. And they know that with this Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, you struggle when you don't see the appearance of all the effort. Like they know that you struggle when you don't see your greatest efforts manifest. Because you put a lot of attention to detail. You try to be as creatively outgoing as possible. You try not to stifle yourself at all. And you try to approach every project or situation with this new inspired outlook. You're very focused. When you get into new things, you sometimes are even really confident as well. And not sometimes. I feel like you're really confident when starting new things because you're so creative and you see things visually. You feel your creativity emotionally. And so that all of that energy and effort that you put into it is undeniable to other people. And they're almost in awe of you as well and your abilities. They're in awe of how you intuit things, how you take things from the spiritual realm, information that was given to you, and you make it into this beautiful work of art. They are in awe of that. And maybe a little bit of jealous energy as well, which is hard to tell through the spread. But I see that you are receiving recognition for what they put you through and how you basically came out on the other side of it stronger than they expected. Because I knew you were capable, but to see you in action is a different thing. It's a whole different story. It's a whole different ballgame. You're now manifesting so many new things in your life, new projects, new relationships, or new, not necessarily just new relationships like new people, but reinvigorating the relationships that already exist in your life that bring this newness feeling as well. But with the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, it is a struggle for you. It is a struggle for you to keep your energy pure, to keep that fire and that flame going. You know, to be a fire tender, you have to tend to it. You have to be there at every moment when the flames grow too big or when they grow too small. And that goes for any creative project or endeavor in your life. You want to tend to the flames, and you want to know and be recognized for that hard work. You want there to be a reciprocal energy because money is energy. You want to receive. And this person knows that you are deserving of that in this new beginning. It feels so closely to work related. It's not even funny. Like I can't necessarily pick up on any other aspect of how this could play out because it feels very connected to work and your creative abilities and how someone gave you a hard time in the sense like you really, really doubted yourself. You really doubted your abilities and you needed a certain level of encouragement. And so now you are discerning like, oh, this situation absolutely was telling me how to encourage myself, how to believe in myself, how to move forward with the things that I already know are a gift of mine. Yes, you have gifts. Abundance will flow once you nurture your gifts. So in this beginning, you're absolutely trying to nurture your gifts. You're not trying to stifle yourself anymore. Speaking up with the truth. If you know that you have created something, standing up and saying, yes, this is my creation. Putting your name on it. Not being afraid to put your name on it because you don't feel like you're qualified enough to just see your name on a project and not supported by such and such helped with this one thing. But just saying, this is my work from beginning to end. This is what I put my energy to, type of energy as well. I love that. Okay. Let's see what else. Just a few final messages from your spirit guides in regards to an apology that you needed to hear, which I hope that you have been receiving that energy so far, pile number 1. Let's see. Please, spirit. Oh. Okay, I have to, because these 3 just flipped over right away. And of course, Leo's energy is out again. I just have to keep it. Okay. So you have spontaneity, make hay while the sun shines, living in the moment, emergent behavior in response to current events. Yeah, living in the moment, being very present, make hay while the sun shines. Do it now, whatever it is, Leo, Virgo energy, whatever feels like you're being called to like look at the final details of, and so much Leo energy, so much fire in you. Taking that creativity and grounding it. Doing it while you can. Doing it when you feel called to. While the sun is still shining, while you still feel optimistic about anything being able to occur, just do that creative thing. And look at all the details. Let your heart thrive and say, I was focused so hard on this and it felt so good to really just give myself creatively over to something. And I feel very proud of what it is that I have been able to create. The Fool here is telling me like you have this new beginning where you get to decide what the details look like. You get to decide the shades and the colors that you use, the language that you use. You get to decide who sees it when they see it. Who gets to experience in this with you? Who gets to see even the harder aspects that it took you to overcome mentally in order to create such beautiful and inspiring work in your life? But living in the moment and going for it when you feel it. Of course, you have creativity, pile number 1. A small spark kindles a great fire with Aries and Capricorn energy here. So you could have a lot of fire and earth within your natal chart because the earth helps you to ground that creativity that you have just flowing through your veins. Use of imagination to produce novel or original ideas, methods, or forms. Absolutely. This is all your energy. This is what is making way, what you are making way for in your life right now is your creativity. It is actually a relationship in your life. You are in a relationship with your creativity. I feel it strongly. You are very imaginative. You have very original ideas, again, where people may have said, naysayers may have said, oh, I've seen something like that before. Or, oh, how much abundance can you really receive in that stream from that source of creativity? Why don't you try it this way? Or whatever it is, whatever it was, there's no need to harp on it now. The point is that this situation has brought in so much clarity around your creativity that it doesn't even make sense, I feel like, for you. Because you always thought, oh, this is really unique and cool, what I can do. Maybe other people have told me here and there how cool it is, how unique it is, but I am now awakening so strongly to it. Like, I absolutely know that this is so unique and so cool, and I love it. I love it. I love what it is that I'm doing. And I'm going to read this final card, and then I'm going to say what I was going to say. Competence with Leo and Sagittarius energy. To the victor go the spoils. Sufficient skill, ability, or knowledge to complete a task. General aptitude. So you are very competent of being a leader. You are very confident in taking this new role in your life. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, pile number one. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You are victorious. You are more than sufficient in your skills. You have such a unique ability that it's awestruck, like it awestrucks people. And the knowledge that you hold is absolutely helping you to complete any task in your life, as long as you are here to focus on it and to not focus on the situation that made you feel as if you were not competent. Yeah. Whatever thoughts that you have, whatever memories that come up, whatever doubt is still deeply seated, it's purifying at this time. The 10 is saying it's purifying, it's cleansing itself out. You're becoming more and more aware of your competence, more and more aware of your abilities, more and more aware of why it is necessary for you to shine right now. Don't dim your light. Leo, Leo, Leo. Don't dim your light at all. Because the light that you have within you is encouraging and helping others to be guided as well. Even if you don't always express it, even if you don't always feel like you are seen, you are absolutely seen by people. Share your work, share your creativity, speak up and say, this is what it took for me to create this. This is why this is so important to me. This is why art is so important to life. Art imitates life. Life imitates art. This is why it's so important. And learn how to creatively speak about the things that you put such hard work around. I feel like you're not only an artist, but you're learning how to speak on your art as an artist, write about your art as an artist even. You're learning how to get the word about what it is that you do outside of yourself, and to shine and to be sociable and to share with other people. It's so important that you do that as a way of self-expression. And it will help to bury this doubt and disbelief in yourself even further. Or not even burying it, because that suggests that you're not necessarily uprooting and addressing. It's releasing it from your spirit, from your energetic fields. And you're going to be as creative as ever. You're going to feel as spontaneous as ever, just from the releasing of this. And so in regards to the apology that you needed to hear, pile number one, this energy is saying, I am so sorry that, first of all, I kept you waiting this long. Because I've been meaning to get back to you. I've been meaning to have this conversation with you for some time. I just didn't know how. I am so sorry for doubting you. I am sorry that I put my fears and my doubt onto your creativity and onto your creative process. I'm learning how to discern my rights and my wrongs in this situation. And I just wanted to come to you and say, I'm sorry. You are very competent. You are very creative. I never should have doubted that, because I see your inspiration at work. I see your creativity at work, and there's no way that I can doubt it any longer. I just doubt myself. I just have a fear of myself and my own abilities that I'm afraid for you too sometimes. Like, I don't want you to be disappointed or heartbroken if something goes wrong, but that's not for me to control. Okay? I feel like this is something that they could be wanting to say to you, pile number 1, and that was absolutely channeled. So take again what resonates. At the bottom of the deck, you have moderation with Libra and Gemini energy. Nothing too much, avoidance of excess or extremes, doing something within reasonable limits. So I feel like, especially because you have the 5 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, your creativity is something that you do not need to splurge on. It is something that you have at hand. Creativity is something you breathe. It's something that exists all around you, and a lot of it is for free. So looking for the free aspects of your creativity, looking for how you can show up and create with very little, with just the plain resources that you need, and not necessarily needing an excess or doing something too much. So this goes in all things: communicating with moderation, creating with moderation, feeling things with moderation, not allowing our feelings to talk us into conversations or conflicts that don't necessarily need to happen. But moderation in all sense will help you to will help keep you feeling balanced and feeling very authoritative over your life. Pile number 1. I hope that you enjoyed this different kind of reading that I have for you. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love to know how this reading resonated for you. If you felt like commenting down below, no pressure. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful crystal, which I don't actually know the name of, but that's okay. I'm going to put it off to the side here. We're going to get started with your reading. And I channeled an emotion from a deck that is still new to me, but I just wanted to see what your emotional state was as the overall theme. And let's get started in your reading. You have resentful. Such a heavy emotion carried upon you daily. Resentment eats at your thoughts and the positive emotions you want to feel. Okay, so there is a situation, or was a situation in your life that unfortunately pile number 2 has made you resentful. And resentful is an emotion that is very, very heavy, very strong. It is hard to ever breed positivity out of resentment because it eats at your positivity. It eats at the positive emotions that still exist within you. And it turns things bitter. I'm trying to think of like an example of an envisioning, but like if there's a crop of food and one thing spoils and you leave it there too long, the other crops are influenced by that energy and things start to fail, things start to spoil because of the one crop that was not removed. And that's what that feels like to me with the resentful energy here. It's like, even if you try to grow new energy, even if you try to harbor positivity, it is still affected by the resentfulness that you feel in regards to the situation. So I'm going to look deeply into what this could be for you and see if we can offer you an apology. Spirit and I can offer you an apology that feels connected to your soul. So let's see, for pile number 2, please, Spirit, why is resentful here? What is the crystal energy for them and the apology that they need to hear? Okay. We have 1 out. I'm going to do 1 more and see if it comes out as quickly. Oh, No, that's quite a few. Just one more, please, Spirit, for pile number 2. One more. Too many. Let's just go with the one that we have right now, and then I'll try to shuffle again in just a second. Let's see what the card is that is already on the table. You have Rainbow Obsidian. So beautiful. This is what that looks like. Hopefully you can see it well. Rainbow Obsidian. And it says, or it is connected to hope, depth, and evolution. Within the darkness, there is always light. When Rainbow Obsidian's dark exterior is exposed to light, colorful bands highlight the stone's beauty. Rainbow Obsidian is a gentle stone, showing you unhealed matters of the heart and bringing hidden wounds to the surface for ultimate healing. Rainbow Obsidian takes you on a journey of evolution, of opening your heart and discovering your true purpose in this life. Able to assist in cutting cords, Rainbow Obsidian floods you with light and love, forgiving yourself and others in the process. It is connected to the zodiac Libra and to the planet Saturn. So beautiful. Absolutely so beautiful, because this is a dark moment for you. I feel like something happened that strongly shrouded you in darkness, and I feel like you've been searching for the light, keeping your eyes out for hope, or just keeping your heart out for hope as well, for this matter to be healed within your heart. So there is some healing that is being offered to you, and you are going to be able to look at what the situation has wounded you with. It is bringing it to the surface, as the card says, for ultimate healing. And you are evolving from this healing. You are evolving in the sense that your heart will be reopening again to possibility, again, hope. And you will be finding your true purpose through this situation. You will also be able to cut cords and ties with the things that have been bringing you and making you feel resentful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Obsidian typically is a crystal connected to the shadow self. And so with the Rainbow Obsidian coming out, it's like you are doing a lot of shadow work to see where this resentment still hides and is still tucked away. I think for your own safety even, it keeps you from trusting that person again, which that's hearsay on whether or not you should or not, but it does. Resentment keeps you from trusting that person again. It keeps you from letting your guard down. It keeps that wound around also, though. It not only justifies your pain, but it keeps it around, and it keeps you harboring in it, which is not necessarily what you want. So you have fluorite opal, and then amber at the bottom of the deck. So beautiful. The fluorite opal looks like this one. A lot of rainbows, a lot of rainbow colors here in your reading. Ethian opal. What did I say it was? I'm not sure. Ethian opal is this one though. And it is connected to rebirth, portal, and desire. It is also connected to the zodiac Virgo and Sagittarius. Reflecting the beautiful parts of your soul, Ethian opal is a crystal filled with bright flashes of color and revitalizing energy. Very interesting. Full of joy, Ethian opal is a high vibration stone able to soothe the soul and bring harmony to mind, body, and spirit. Ethian opal can burn unhealed karma from the past and clear the path for a rebirth, like a phoenix rising out of the ashes. Containing a soul holograph, Ethiopian opal gives access to different timelines in your life, from the past, present, and future. Give all parts of yourself the love that you desire, okay? So yes, this situation, as difficult as it was, as much as you are holding on to it for safety purposes, it is absolutely teaching you how to give love to all parts of yourself, from the past, in your present and future you as well. And that's hard to do because I feel like, especially with resentment and because it's so heavy, a part of you is internalizing the pain that has happened to you as maybe possibly something that you have brought onto yourself. And this is a shadow aspect of all of us. We sometimes tend to think that we deserve the pain that we experience. Sometimes a lot of us believe that we deserve to suffer just because we don't truly feel connected to the parts of us that are good, or that we don't see and value ourselves as good people. And in this, I feel you releasing. I feel you releasing. You're absolutely taking a very long look at your soul and the state in which your mind, body, and soul are in. You have a lot of rainbow in the midst of darkness. And there's a saying that I heard recently: when it rains, look for the rainbows. When it's dark, look for the stars. And so I think this is something that may strongly resonate for you, because the situation where you were hopeful of an apology, and unlike pile number one, I don't know if you'll necessarily be receiving that from another person, which I do believe is why you're here. Because you are so angry that you don't necessarily want an apology from that other person. Like, not to say that you don't want it, but if you were to receive it, I don't know how much of it you would trust or how much of it you would actually accept, which is why this message is meant to be here for you, so that you can accept it internally without having to face the people who have created such strong energies, or helped to create such strong energies within you. But you feel this heaviness of the emotion that you're carrying. And it says daily. Such a heavy emotion carried upon you daily. So every day you're waking up and you have this aspect of hope in you, that you want to make the best out of each day. You want to be as balanced as you can be. But you also have this shadow that you don't tell many people about, that they don't know is attached or walking around with you, that you want to let go of because you feel it eating away at whatever positivity you've been trying to breed or grow in your life. So you have a lot of healing, and a literal rebirth opening up for you, and you're clearing a path. Or as the card mentions, a phoenix rising out of the ashes. So something very difficult, painful, even, that you felt inflamed by. Because resentment also holds and is very closely connected to anger. So you were inflamed by it, and you almost felt like it destroyed who you were, without realizing that it has birthed a new you amidst it as well. So there's something about your desires here as well. Give all parts of yourself the love that you desire. This situation is really challenging you, really making you look at your shadow aspect and to say, I'm holding on to an energy that doesn't belong to me, and it doesn't belong in my life anymore, because this person certainly isn't. I definitely don't feel like this person is in your life, or they're not an active participant in your life. But it's like active enough for you to still have this reminder every time that you resent them, and that you resent the situation that you ended up being in with them. So you're looking at your shadow and saying, what still exists within me that doesn't belong? Why is it still here? Why do I believe it so strongly? And what parts of my soul are affected by this? Especially because both of these are dark colored with the rainbow inside, and you have to look closely to see each color. That's very Virgo, like looking at the details of the beauty that still exists within you. Not trying to overlook the shadow, not trying to look past the darkness to see the rainbows and only the rainbows, but to accept the whole of you as you are after the situation has happened, and to say, you know, I may feel as if I am bitter, but I am not broken. The situation did not break me. And whatever emotional capacity that I may feel as if I have lost, I can absolutely regain it. That's so beautiful. Amber at the bottom of the deck is connected to warmth, regeneration, and grounding. It is also connected to the zodiacs Leo and Aquarius, and it is connected to the sun. And it says, exuding warmth and electrical charge, amber was believed by the Chinese to encapsulate the soul of the tiger when it dies. With a rich history, amber was used as a protective talisman dating back to ancient times. Technically compromised of tree resin that has been fossilized, amber is used for grounding higher energies back to earth. When rubbed, it can become electrically charged, dispelling negativity and igniting desire. Again, here for you. Amber is used as a purifier, cleansing the environment and chakras alike. Use amber to electrify your life. So, especially if you're feeling or you have felt as if things have been stale or stagnant, if you have been stuck in this energy, stuck in resentment, stuck remembering painful memories and not feeling as if you have found healing, this amber energy is saying that you have a revitalization, a regeneration of energy coming to you. But more so in a natural aspect. Tree resin makes me think like you are learning how to ground yourself. You're learning how to ground yourself in your reality and to be present and not stuck in the past where the painful memories exist so strongly. It almost feels as if you want to work with the pain to create something new. But I'm going to look and see more through the oracle what it is that is coming up for you, pile number 2. What affirmation is here for pile number 2, please, Spirit? Thank you. That's so beautiful. And I will read the bottom of the deck as well, which says, joy is the ultimate creator. You cannot create out of pain, out of envy, out of anger. Joy is the ultimate creator. And there has to be a certain level of joy and love that is in existence in order for you to create something new and outside of the painful energies that you have been maybe manifesting for some time now. But your affirmation says, when I'm in a state of appreciation, I'm in vibrational alignment with my true love nature. Yes, so you have definitely, I feel as if you've been facing feeling out of unaligned with love and with your true love nature. And so how you are regaining this is through a state of appreciation. What does that mean for you? Am I supposed to be appreciative of the bad things that have happened to me? No, pile number 2. It's not necessarily directly just that. It is an appreciation for life itself, for the existence of life, for the opportunity to turn around the energy that exists in your life. I think that is a part of hope as well within the rainbow obsidian, where you are trying to create this energy of hope that allows you to realign. You feel out of alignment vibrationally. You do. You feel out of alignment. You have such beautiful energy internally, but it feels almost as if it's been tainted by hardship in your life, and you don't know how to get it back. You can see beautiful aspects. You can appreciate rainbows and beauty around you, but you don't truly feel connected to it. And it's because the situation has taken beauty out of life for you. I'm not going to lie. How does someone have that power? It is because you have trusted them with that power. You have trusted them with your love. And In some way, they have betrayed that. They have betrayed that, and you feel as if you just aren't harvesting enough positive emotions to drown out the negative, to drown out and to reconnect. You just don't feel as if you have enough of this cleansing aspect to really release your soul from the resentment that it feels. So you are being brought back into vibrational alignment with your spirit guides and with yourself, your true love nature. That's standing out to me because with the tree resin and amber is definitely getting back to a natural state for you, I think. Whatever that means for you, of course, but getting back to a natural state before the resentment existed, pre the resentment. Not necessarily doing the things that you used to do in order to feel the ways that you used to feel, but to wake up with a certain energy daily that reminds you that you have survived what you thought that you couldn't. And now you get to decide what you do with the rest of your life. Do you want to cultivate joy? Do you want to actively try to cultivate joy and to release the memories that plague you? Or do you just want to sit in your resentment and say, this is my comfort spot because you can't reach me here? You would have to go through my wrath and my anger to reach me here, to try to bring me out of this. And you can't, because you're the one that I put these walls up for. I can't really tell what this relationship is in your life just yet, but I know that it is a sensitive one for you, where you kind of just don't want to be bothered. And because you don't want to be bothered, there's still healing that is available to you that you have to reach out for. So I'm going to look and see what more clarity I can gain from this. Yes, you're needing some light in your life. Sound healing. Yes. And inner truth with the lapis crystal. So you have chrysocolla, again, with sound healing. Chrysocolla blends the heart chakra with the throat chakra. It balances the emotions and brings peace and harmony to the mind and heart. When used in combination with mantra chant, spoken prayer, or sacred song, it facilitates sound healing. Chrysocolla is a good stone for counselors, therapists, and anyone who uses the spoken word to heal and comfort others. Affirmation: my voice has power. I use it to improve the well-being of myself and others. So you absolutely you have this power in your voice that I feel like you're coming more and more into awareness of. You realize when you're singing, and it's more so absent-mindedly for many of you, I'm sure, when you're singing your favorite songs or you are speaking to people who don't remind you of the past or the difficult past that you've been through, you feel a level of healing that takes place. And you have it all over your reading here with the rainbow obsidian and the Ethiopian opal. You have a lot of healing that is available to you, but there's a certain level of vibration that is needed. I'm in vibrational alignment, high vibrational zone, able to soothe the soul and bring harmony to mind, body, and spirit. So you have a lot of healing, again, a lot of soothing, a lot of regeneration, repairing of your soul that is taking place because of the situation that has not brought you peace, but that has taken your peace, or that has tried to take your peace. And so you're bringing that back within yourself, and it's hard work. It feels like hard work because the resentment is so heavy, and it says a heavy emotion carried. It's hard to even let that first burden go. It's like there's different stages of it. Maybe let's just say there's 5 different stages of resentment that you're carrying on your back. And the first one is the hardest to let go. But as you start to let things go, you become lighter and lighter, and your shoulders aren't hunched over. You're not depleted. You're not on guard either. This gives very like 9 of Wands energy. You're not on guard when you are actively tending to your own healing and not looking for someone to trespass against your energy. This also feels like hermit mode, like you being very isolatory so that you can heal as deeply as possible and to discover parts of yourself and parts of your purpose that have been scattered. Yeah, that have been scattered, bringing hidden wounds to the surface. Scattered or hidden. Anything. There's a lot. There's quite a lot coming up for you, pile number 2. Of a dark situation that has detached you from your internal light. And it's a big situation in your life that you're really hoping not even to get an apology for. You're looking for freedom from this. And I hope that this reading may be able to offer you that in some small way. But the Lapis card says, the deep blue color of Lapis stimulates your third eye chakra. It opens you to inner vision, clairvoyance, lucid dreaming, astral travel, past life recall, and facilitates access to the Akashic records. Lapis enhances self-awareness and deepens your intuitive insight, putting you on the path to greater wisdom. Affirmation: exploring different metaphysical truths increases my spiritual awareness. I think this, tarot reading is just one step of the many steps that you are taking to deepen your clairvoyance and your intuitive abilities. So some of you could be interested in getting an Akashic record reading, or you have been experiencing astral travel and you maybe even enjoy that more so than where you are physically in your 3D reality, and you wake up with disappointments even, or waking up from a lucid dream where you were having a really good time, not having to worry about pain or anything of that nature. That could be one variant of that. Or it could be that you are absolutely lucid dreaming and it's not enjoyable for you, and you feel like your third eye is overstimulated, again, with past pains that you've been trying to ignore or just like push to the side because you don't want to. It's like it's too much to deal with in your waking life. So now it's trying to get your attention within your sleeping life or your sleeping realm. But that is dependent upon you, pile number 2, and your situation. I feel like overall, though, spiritually, you have felt this deep internal calling to initiate healing in your life because you know that the emotional things you're holding on to, again, is making you bitter. And this is not who you want to be. You don't want to be connected to that energy at all. You don't. No one does. So let's see what details I can get for you, pile number 2, in regards to an apology that you are needing to hear right now. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. How are they getting back into contact with their true love nature? Pile number 2. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. I think you are not necessarily intimidated by the depth of your healing or the depth of the need of your healing. You kind of are thinking, I have to start somewhere. I have to start now, or it's only going to deplete me even more. I have to find a way to connect with my joy. That's why I was thinking something about light. I mentioned something about getting connected to the energy of light in some way. You have the 6 of Pentacles with generosity here. And at the bottom of it is inequality. So there's generosity and inequality. And I feel like with the Six of Pentacles coming out, you have felt like your energy is unbalanced. The Pentacles can talk about money matters, but it can also just talk about our physical body. And something may have in the past felt unbalanced or imbalanced, and you're now trying to feed yourself the things that you need to feel that way again. Whether that is through the material or not, whether it's like, oh, I'm going to treat myself with a little something that can put a smile on my face. Simple. Not that it's going to solve all of my problems, not that's going to completely transform me internally and ignite this huge and profound healing. I think it's little steps by little steps of little things that you are feeding yourself with positivity and light in order to cleanse your own aura, cleanse your own spirit. I'm not viewing the Six of Pentacles as work. I'm viewing it as the traditional Rider-Waite Six of Pentacles. It's someone providing a resource to another person who is clearly in need of it. And I feel like if you were put in that position, pile number 2, and you were the person to provide something for someone and they betrayed your generosity and they betrayed your giving nature and they did something that went against you. And again, your giving nature, this is what has been stemming from the resentfulness. It's like, I gave to you willingly and freely, and you still took from me in a way that made me feel like I was taken advantage of. I'm sure the situation will be very different for each person, but there's something in here where someone took something from you and you were absolutely enraged at the fact, because you are a very giving person. You don't hold on to resources. You do try to make sure that everything is equal and balanced, but you don't withhold anything from anyone. You try your very best to make it so that everyone is involved and gets a piece of the resource. And so for someone to go behind your back and to take something from you, it has really depleted you in a way, because you don't understand why. You have the Lovers card here with partnerships, and underneath that is disharmony. So this is absolutely the tone. I feel like there's a disharmony within the partnership that you were providing for. With the Libra energy here too, it does feel like it could be relational. But for those of you who don't necessarily feel like it's a personal partner in your life, it could be a business partner. It could be someone that you were just really closely connected to, that you thought got you, that you thought understood what it is that you were trying to make happen in this world. Yes, because about you discovering your true purpose, you thought that this person was on that journey with you of discovering their purpose alongside you. And there was some kind of disharmony where they betrayed your trust, and it created resentment in you and anger because you want to be a trusting person. You see this as a natural gift within you. Like, I can be trusting. We have 2 people here. We have 2 birds here. So not only is it possible that it is an intimate business connection, it could be a relationship as well in your life, pile number 2, where someone betrayed your trust. And now you are doing the deep internal work of like, okay, not only with this person, but where was my trust first broken? And how is it connected to this? Why do I feel this so deeply that I just can't let it go? There's a lot of reflection, a lot of internal reflection, but the Lovers card can also talk about you needing to make a decision. And the decision comes in on just no longer wanting to place blame, honestly, and to get straight to your healing as direct as you can. Because you know that it's time to raise your vibration, to soothe some of the pain that has been sitting stagnant inside of you. And it's time to start this journey. It's time to start this evolution. It's time to really recognize within yourself how reliable you are as a partner, as a person, and how even though the situation did not go as you wanted it, it did not go as you needed it to, you are still going to be able to find peace. Like I said, like I mentioned, it didn't break you. It just broke open your perspective of situations. Yeah. And there's something here about like the blue here and the blue in the lapis card. You're intuitively learning how to love again. You are intuitively learning how to trust again. You are intuitively learning how to open your heart up to other people again and be in connection with other people. You're learning how to trust your own heart. The lovers is not only you and another, it can be you and yourself, and viewing yourself in a way that I don't typically interact with people this way. I don't typically hold myself back or silence myself in this way. I don't typically keep my healing to myself and not offer it to another person in this way. But I know why I've started doing that. I know why I've started interacting in this way. There's also something about the number 6 here. You could be seeing repeating 6s in your life, and that is actually not a demonic number whatsoever. It is, if I remember, hopefully I can enter it here for you, but seeing a 666 means that you have lost sight of yourself in some way, and that you need to have a reminder of who you are. So you may be seeing repeating 6s in situations where you're not showing up authentically because, again, you are deathly afraid of being or of having your trust broken again. And so it's not even like you're putting people to the expectation of, oh, this person looks like they're going to break my trust and this person doesn't. It's like you are all going to be treated equal. You are all going to be placed behind this fence until further notice. And that until further notice will be around your healing. You're going to want to start inviting people in, but you just don't trust it. And so that pause within itself, you knowing that you're a people person, knowing that you connect with people easily, you're going to be like, okay, there's something keeping me from doing this. There's something keeping me from connecting with another soul, sharing resources with another person. And it has strongly to do with my past. And I have to make the decision to heal that. But the Ace of Cups tells me that you have a lot of feelings around this, a lot. And there are new feelings trying to enter your atmosphere. You have a new beginning relationally or relation-wise. I think you are not looking for a new relationship. If that's what is available to you, you're not necessarily looking for it. Will it find you? I'm not sure. Pile number 2, if that's something you're looking for, it looks very likely within the cards that it's possible as you are initiating this healing in your life that new relationships open up and there's a possibility to find a new source of love there. But it's not necessarily what you're being encouraged to look for by your spirit guides. It is your spirit guides are saying, open yourself up to feelings. You're going to start learning new ways to communicate your feelings, learning new things about your feelings, learning new feelings. It could be as simple as that as well, like passion with the Knight of Wands. So I do see you getting a little carried away with this passionate side of yourself, but in a good way. Not in a, oh, it's out of hand. Oh, I've trusted someone again blindly and now I'm in a situation that feels too familiar. The Knight of Wands tells me that you are just opening yourself up again to adventure, to passion, and you're not moving in this sense of like arrogance. Again, arrogance being in like, I'm assuming the worst of you first in regards to other people. The Nine of Wands is very much so attracted to what makes them passionate. And I feel like you're trying to question that less and less. With the Ace of Cups, you know good things and new things are bound to come into your life. You're hopeful that these new things don't turn out as they do, and you're hopeful that you don't place the past energy onto new things. You want to view new situations in your life as just that, new. And I see you facing a large breakthrough in regards to that with the Ace of Swords here. New ways of thinking. You have two aces, so two new beginnings mentally and emotionally for you. A large breakthrough mentally in order for you to embrace new emotions and feelings. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Swords, which is interesting. Some of you could be graduating while at the time of watching this, because it is here, but this also could signify you graduating in thought. Graduating in thought, being less impulsive with your thoughts. Again, assuming that someone's going to be just like so-and-so because they're the same zodiac sign or whatever the case may be. But you are action-oriented in the way of like, I need to heal this. I'm thinking about this feeling or emotion differently, and now I'm interested in healing it. Like, I want to speak healing over myself. Yes, with the sound healing here. So chanting, affirmations, things of that nature, just telling yourself, like, I'm finding my love center again. I'm coming back to my center again. I'm learning how to trust people again. I'm learning how to trust myself again. I'm learning how to trust my intuition. I'm learning how to not doubt it. When my intuition says this person can be trusted, or learning how to approach trust in a way like that is not defensive, but is open. Your trust being open, and to say, you know, each experience is here to teach me something different about myself. This situation, I do believe, was here to teach you about your feelings, what you hold on to, what you harbor, but also to teach you about the root of this situation and how generous you were in the beginning and how to get back to that generous state, because that wasn't the issue. The issue wasn't your generosity. It was the ability to take advantage of it without boundary. You can be generous and still have boundaries. Because boundaries are necessary. And this is a breakthrough for you mentally as well. You're like, yeah, you're right. Boundaries are essential. And maybe my boundaries could have looked different in this situation. So you're absolutely correct. I will embrace that as a part of my healing, and saying, you know, if I do find myself open again, I will at least know that this situation has taught me the proper boundaries that I need to exist and feel like I can be open. Like I can be open. But this mindset, this breakthrough that you're having mentally is going to strike very quickly, because this resembles a lightning strike to me. So it's coming in quickly, and there's a lot of situations, I feel like, not even just relationships, but situations that are happening in your life, that are manifesting in your life, that are bringing you back to this happiness that you know exists. You know it exists inside of you. And you just want to feel it again without the tinge of resentment of like, oh, I'm happy again, so that person must be around the corner to steal my joy. No, just knowing that you are safe, and that if you put up a boundary, the boundary will exist. And if someone tries to cross that boundary, you are also very much so capable of sending them right back to where they belong. But trust, because this is still a dark state for you. that you're in. And so you can't see in the dark unless you have night vision and you have told no one about it. Pile number 2, you can't see in the dark. You can't predict every next step that is going to happen, but you are hypersensitive to the fact that something negative has already happened and could happen again, and you just don't want that. So I feel like you have strong walls up that are needing to transform into the perfect boundaries for you. You have tolerance here with Aquarius and Scorpio energy. Let the leaves fall wherever they may. Lenience or clemency toward differences, open-mindedness, absolutely open-mindedness. We felt it. Tolerance is saying, let the leaves fall wherever they may. Don't try to force anything. This card is also not telling you to tolerate someone's energy. You don't have to tolerate someone if you don't want to. Okay? Let's be clear. There's free will in everybody's life. You have it available to you. The tolerance, I feel like it's to the emotions that this has brought up, and you trying not to control how they come out of you. But healing is not linear. It's not pretty. It can sometimes be kind of messy. So let yourself be emotional. Let yourself break down. I literally actually, I wrote a quote something that just came to mind the other day of like, let the right one see you completely fall apart. And so we know that this original situation was not the right one. They didn't know how to handle your generosity and they took it for granted. But I do feel like you have emotionally capable people around you to support you as you fall apart. And that means falling apart emotionally, like really letting the situation hit you fully, that someone took advantage of you in some way that has left you resentful, and letting all of that fall out of you. Ugly cry if you have to. Maybe it will be in private, but with the Ace of Cups, it does feel like you have people who won't judge you for your pain. They won't judge you for the expression of your pain either. And the tolerance is just saying, don't try to force anything. Lenience towards differences. I'm so curious as to why that is there, because I feel like it's also saying with the people that exist in your life who are not the person that hurt you or the people that hurt you, be lenient towards their differences. It doesn't mean that they're there to disappoint you because they are so different from you. It just means that they are different, and that is okay, because they will eventually offer you a different perspective that you didn't know that you needed. You had quite a few come out, so I'm going to keep shuffling. But yes, be lenient towards other people's differences and don't make it a marker of possible disappointment or difficulties in another person just because they are different. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. Any final cards for pile? Ooh, that's too many. Too many. I'm going to keep shuffling. I just want 2 more for you, and that will conclude your reading. Pile number 2, Spirit. 2 more. Okay. You have, enjoyment. Yeah, this was one of the ones that just popped out in a whole bunch of them. A joy shared is happiness doubled. Wow. Taking pleasure or experiencing gratification, delighting or relishing, with Sagittarius and Cancer energy here. A joy shared is happiness doubled. So I feel like you have a lot to share with another person. A lot of enjoyment and joy to share with another person. So how I may want to read this situation as an example for you as well is Some of you have been out of a relationship for a while, and there may have been a new situation or relationship entering your life, and it has sparked some kind of joy. And you're like, wow, I didn't think that I could feel this kind of happiness with another person ever again. Because some romantic situations make it so difficult for you to trust after your trust has been broken. It's a given fact. It's a way of life when you are a human. And so this enjoyment, the Lover's card, Ace of Cups with feelings here, you do have a new chance at love, period. Whether it's love of self, love of another new person and energy, there's someone here to share joy with, but also to help you carry your pain and to not be judgmental of you and your pain. There's someone here who's very tolerant of all different kinds of emotions that you didn't think were possible. You didn't think you would find someone who would accept you for all different levels of emotional expression. And you do have that. I see it for those of you who want it or who it exists in your life. You do have that. And it's meant for you to enjoy with another. Delighting or relishing. Experiencing gratification. So the joyous times you're trying to hold on to, you're trying not to let the darkness wash it out. You're trying not to be overly consumed by the darkness. And I do see a new way of thinking and perceiving the things that you have been through with a new, fresh set of eyes. This person actually could make you feel as if, you were supposed to go through that situation. So this person, can show you how to love in spite of it all, in spite of pain and everything. So that could absolutely be a part of that as well. You have two different cards that popped out. I'm keeping them both. Finality. All's well that ends well, with Scorpio and Cancer again. Scorpio and Cancer. Irreversibly ending or closing out a cycle, prohibiting further action. So there is absolutely a finality to this resentment, like you are closing it. There's absolutely no further action. There's no way to continue holding on to this emotionally. Like, it is closing out for you. All's well that ends well. So I see it ending very well for you, harmonious for you. Emotionally, you will be able to find some level of balance and stability in your life. There's without a doubt, you absolutely will. And you also have legacy with, again, Scorpio. So you could have heavy Scorpio placements in your natal chart or know someone who does. Scorpio and Leo energy here. Yeah. Pleasures are transient. Honor is immortal. Legacy. Enduring contribution, something of value that persists beyond its creator. I think you are living a legacy of love. And not just pleasurable love, but honorable love. Where, people honor one another emotionally, and you can see that through their connection. So this relationship in your life that may be building or pending, this new situation, is helping you to leave a new legacy, not one created out of pain, misunderstanding, mistrust, but again, a new legacy of honor and value. And it is going beyond you. It is going beyond the connection. It is leaving a legacy for many others to enjoy and be inspired by with love. It almost feels as if also with the Six of Pentacles, for some of you, Aside from the relationship factor, some of you could be building like this humanitarian aspect in your career or work in some way. And it is leaving a legacy, an honorable legacy that will immortalize what it is that you deeply believe in, because we did have purpose here. So I do feel like through this connection in your life, if that is something that is taking place, you are also finding your purpose, and this is a part of your legacy. At the bottom of the deck, you have proactivity with Aries and Virgo energy. Be the change that you want to see in the world, anticipating future problems and taking preventative actions before they occur. This was absolutely your energy in regards to emotional matters as well, not just the career aspect of yourself, but emotional matters where you kind of just wanted to prevent future problems. You wanted to keep them from ever having to happen. So you were taking preventative actions before those things could occur. You also have action oriented at the bottom of the deck for the tarot as well. So it's very interesting. You're trying to think 10 steps ahead before something fails in a relationship or a project. And that is not allowing you to be as present as possible as well. That's something that you may be trying to work on. But overall, pile number 2, the apology that I think that I am intuitively picking up for you is someone or something saying something like this. I am sorry. I am sorry that I caused you so much pain and that it is drawn out as long as it has. I hope that my apology offers you some kind of closure, because I am not able to do that emotionally for you. So hopefully my words can offer you that. I'm sorry that I disappointed you. I'm sorry that I took advantage of your kindness and your generosity. I apologize that I let my fears tell me that whatever it is that you had to offer me, there wasn't enough. And so I had to take advantage of it before you realized that and left me as well. I'm sorry that I couldn't fill up your cup and that I made you passionate in all the wrong ways. I'm sorry that I made you doubt future connections, because I know that you deserve genuine love and enjoyment. I did enjoy our time together, whether you did or not. And I will always have something that I'm taking away from you, or that I have taken away from this situation, I should say. I will not be taking anything away from you again, because you have placed up this boundary and I recognize it and I feel it strongly. I appreciate all that you have done in my growth, whether you can see those clear aspects of growth or not in my life choices and path. I still appreciate what it is that you were able to provide for me and offer me. And I apologize that I wasn't able to do those same things in turn for you for the long term. I hope you accept my apology. I love you. So, pile number 2, this was your intuitive reading, an apology that you needed to hear. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I would also love to hear how this reading resonated for you in the comment section down below if you feel called to. If not, no pressure. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful crystal, which I'm going to leave right off to the side now. And we're going to get right into your reading with the overall energy, the overall feeling that this situation, this energy has brought into your life. So let's see. We have fearful. This emotion is limiting your movement forward. What is the actual fear you are experiencing? Is it something that can be released? Okay. And so you have had a situation in your life that has made you fearful. Pile number 3. It has kept you from moving forward genuinely with confidence, and it has limited you in some way. And so this card is asking you, what is the actual fear you are experiencing? And is this something that can be released? And based on what we are centering this reading around in regards to an apology that you needed to hear, there wasn't a situation that was initiated, or it surrounds a person or people that have really activated this emotion within you. And not necessarily that they have, put you in fear, they have done something to make you fear them or the situation necessarily, but fear is an emotion. It is something that keeps us from accessing our fullest potential. And so this could be a number of ways that this is showing up in your life, whether it is, someone has placed fear on your dreams. They have put their own fear into your life, and it's not something that you are necessarily, still connecting or resonating with. So I'm going to look and see in the Oracle what this has to do with you and the apology that is being brought up through this reading. I want to see why this emotion of fear is here, please, Spirit, for pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Okay. Do we have one more for pile number 3, please, Spirit? Thank you. Okay. We have the 2 that we're going to be looking at. I see Rainbow Obsidian, which came out for another group. This is what it looks like. Stunning. And I also see Green Aventurine. Beautiful. And this is what this crystal looks like. Okay. And so Green Aventurine is connected to the energies of prosperity, fortune, and opportunity. It is also connected to the zodiac Aries and the planet Mercury. And this card says, known as the good luck stone or the stone of opportunity, Aventurine is used to attract abundance into your life. It propels growth, not just physically, but also personally, presenting learning opportunities for your soul's evolution. Aventurine also aligns situations so opportunities appear, acting as a stabilizing force. Aventurine balances male and female energy to bring a soothing harmony between yin and yang. Aventurine can also attract love, complementing the heart chakras and resolving lingering emotional issues. Okay, so you have lingering emotional issues here within this fearful energy and within the Green Aventurine. And just based off of what this card represents, the fears that you can be experiencing right now could be around not only luck, but opportunity. It could be around fortune, and maybe you having a fear that you're not as fortunate as you believe, or you will not reach the milestones in your life that you wish to reach, just simply based off the Aries energy here and the fearful, and this this emotion limiting your movement in some way. And so this, again, like I was mentioning with the other energy, as to why you are feeling as if you are needing an apology, this energy could have very well encourage limiting mindsets or limiting beliefs about what is possible for you in your future. And you're trying to realign, I can see it, you're trying to realign your heart chakra with your desires, and knowing that anything is possible for you as long as you continue to show up with belief in that thing. You also have Rainbow Obsidian. Hope, depth, and evolution is what this crystal is connected to. It is also connected to the zodiac Libra and the planet Saturn. So this says, within the darkness, there is always light. When Rainbow Obsidian's dark exterior is exposed in light, colorful bands highlight the stone's beauty. Rainbow Obsidian is a gentle stone, showing you unhealed matters of the heart and bringing hidden wounds to the surface for ultimate healing. Rainbow Obsidian takes you on a journey of evolution, of opening your heart and discovering your true purpose in this life. Able to assist in cutting cords, Rainbow Obsidian floods you with light and love, forgiving yourself and others in progress. And I think this is absolutely beautiful because it is clear that someone, unintentionally or intentionally, I'm not really sure, but they have aided in this fear that exists within you. And it became a wound. It may not have necessarily started off as that, but it definitely did become a wound for you, an emotional wound that is asking for release and for healing. So, I think throughout this reading, pile number 3, you may be asking yourself, is this something that can be released? Is this something that can be released? How do I release it? I think you're also trying less and less to focus on less focus on the root, but you're not trying to place blame. You're just trying to look at certain origins as to where this fear has come from and how it is limiting you right now in going and achieving your goals and your desires. And it's deep, it's hidden, it's still surfacing up. It's still trying to make itself known and trying to allow you to find language as well. Like there's something here about like finding the language in order to know what it is that feels limiting and restrictive to you. And it may not just be fear, or it may not just be as simple as fear. It could be fear of success. It could be fear of failure. It could be different kinds of this emotion that really affects your momentum or your movement in some way. At the bottom of the deck, you have the crystal sulfur, which looks like this one. So beautiful. Very vibrant. And sulfur is connected to the energy of volcanic, progress, and inventive. And it says, sourced from volcanic areas, sulfur is an excellent companion for bottled up emotions that can manifest as skin conditions, fevers, and emotional outbursts. Sulfur has a negative electrical charge, allowing it to absorb toxicity and destruction from your surroundings. Sulfur also brings to light the natural disasters in your personal landscape, highlighting your shadows in order to clear the path for renewal. This opens up awareness of triggers that can cause eruption, placing consciousness in action. It is connected to Leo, the zodiac, and the sun. So yes, I think with this being at the bottom of the deck, it is you're very aware of this emotion that is at the center of your reading because of said emotional outbursts, or feeling as if there are triggers that are being reactive to your environment. You are very emotionally sensitive at this time. And it's because things have been bottled up. And so, I literally keep seeing the volcano because it is so strongly connected to the sulfur. And I know that you don't want to erupt. You don't want to expose or express your emotions in a way that is toxic or harmful to other people. But there are emotions sitting in you that don't belong to you and that do need to be released. You, I believe, have more control initially off bat than you realize on how you will let these emotions go. You have more control than you realize, and it doesn't have to be messy. It doesn't have to be, again, harmful to anyone else, not even to yourself. But there is deep emotional wounds that you're being called to take a look at, and ignoring them or not addressing them is not an option any longer. And you may be thinking, I came to this reading expecting a different energy. I came to this reading expecting an apology, because that is what is in the title. And I absolutely will be getting to that at the end of your reading, more so. That is how I've been doing it for everyone. But there is a certain level, I feel like, of accountability. And that's a hard word to accept, because it almost sounds as if I'm saying that you have done something wrong that you have to take account for. And it's not what I'm saying. Over here, we don't strongly believe in right versus wrong. Energy is just energy. And so if there is a fear that you know has been holding you back from doing the things that you want to do, and that has limited your mindset around your fortune, your abundance, your material plane, you have the accountability to release that. Yes. You have the ability to say, I know that this is the energy that exists around me, but I don't have to accept it in this way. Like, I can use this energy of fear and transform it into my power. And I think this is the opportunity that this energy is opening up for you, is to learn deeply about your fears and to not hide away from them or to present as if you don't have any fears. Yeah. It's kind of pointless to know that you have something that you are afraid of, or know that there's something that affects you strongly and deeply emotionally, and to just say, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. No, there's nothing here. Yes, it may look like I'm responding to a trigger or I'm reacting through a trigger, but I'm good. And I feel like you are not interested in this way of life anymore. Again, you want to embrace your fears. You want to say, what am I actually afraid of in this? And how can I transform this fear into, again, a tool to help me move through it and to access a different level of power that I haven't been used to accessing? So let's see. I'm going to look through the oracle. I can't remember which one I want to do next, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to look through the crystal oracle and see what other crystal energy is coming up for you aside from green aventurine and rainbow obsidian. Okay. Very interesting. There's two that came out. You have amethyst and amazonite harmony. I think I may read amazonite and put it back and keep amethyst. So I'll just read the affirmation for amazonite, and it says, I am a calm and harmonious person. I speak words that are kind, supportive, and loving. Okay. Especially as you are trying to create more harmony in your life. You're trying to release your fears. You're trying to, I hear, advocate for yourself and your own powers. You are speaking harmony with words and calmness, a certain level of centeredness, so that you don't, again, fall out of harmony or embrace disharmony in any way. But amethyst is connected to spirituality. And it says, amethyst opens up the crown chakra, stimulating spiritual growth, enlightenment, and self-realization. Working with amethyst can help raise your vibrational frequency and connect you to your higher self. Amethyst relieves anxiety and stress, and can be used to promote peaceful sleep. The affirmation says, I am committed to my spiritual growth. As I raise my consciousness, I become a source of light to the world. Absolutely. So you are a very spiritual being. You're absolutely connected to your spirituality. You you are on a spiritual journey in the sense that this healing within the rainbow obsidian is building and strengthening your spirituality. It's strengthening your spiritual trust and the process of things. And as this fear has come up in your life, you, again, aren't looking to place blame. You're not looking to blame the universe for it. You're not looking to blame whoever you feel it's connected to or who it stems from. You're not looking for that. You're looking for a sense of purpose in it. A sense of purpose in your fear. Like, why does this exist? How have I let it consume me in a way that I no longer want to let it consume me? And how can I gain spiritual wisdom from it? So I do, again, see that you're very committed to your spiritual growth and observing and analyzing yourself, looking at what is not aligned, looking at what you haven't believed in for so long and why. And you are raising your vibration, you are raising your frequency energetically, which is helping you to address the fear. It's helping you to look at it. I feel like when we're in a low vibrational state, we kind of just embrace the fear. We kind of just encourage it. We speak it on ourselves. We let it exist, knowing that it's not necessarily a real life factor. Instead, in a higher vibration, we learn to not run away from the emotion, which is, I feel like, especially with fear, it's absolutely like a go-to for some people to just run away or to ignore it and to focus on goals and ambition rather than what is driving them, which I have been learning a lot about recently as well. Pile number 3, and you're not alone in this. At the bottom of the deck, you have Labradorite with magic. Has your life gotten dull, mundane, and repetitive? Labradorite is an earth-colored stone that promotes groundedness, but its iridescent sheen brings the mystical and magical into the physical plane. The light from the sheen helps deflect negativity. Labradorite is a bringer of light and helps raise consciousness, again for you. The affirmation says, to add sparkle to my life, I sprinkle my day with mystical, magical, and light-filled moments. And I think that's absolutely helping you to counteract this fear. Is to hold on to the mystical and the magical, to hold on to the things that bring you or put you in awe. And you're like, wow, I didn't even know that my focus in this way, my spiritual focus on my spiritual growth, is actually allowing not the fear to dissipate, but it's not my main focus. It's not my driving force. Because some people, they will manifest out of fear as well. And that adds a certain level of energetic connection to what it is that you're trying to manifest that does, like, you don't want that to necessarily exist. You want it to exist in a healthy state with your manifestation. And I see you learning more and more about that in your spiritual growth, of letting the magic seep in your day-to-day so that the fear cannot. What does this look like to add sparkle to your life? Well, what does your spiritual practice look like? What does your connection to your spirit guides look like? What brings you joy when you witness something spiritually or magically? What brings you joy? What lights you up? What makes you feel more connected to your spirit guides and the earthly plane as well? Both things exist. Like, there's things in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm that cannot ever replicate. And so those two joining energies brings you wholeness. It brings you completeness. And when you're interacting with both worlds in a healthy state, physical and spiritual, you have this balance. You have this balance, and the fear is harder to seep in. So let's see what else. I want to look and see what affirmation is here in regards to the apology, an apology that you needed to hear. File number 3, please, Spirit. There may have been something that has hindered you from deepening your spiritual growth in regards to this fearful energy. I'm going to look and see, though, why it is that I'm picking up on that energetically. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Affirmation for pile number 3. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, you have directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. And this was the magical, this is the mystical, this is the thing that you really want. And so if you direct your focus onto that, onto the signs and the synchronicities, the little things that make you smile and bring you joy, and it draws your attention to what is thriving with the green aventurine here, it creates more of what you want and not less. It may seem foolish. To others, it may seem deflective, depending on who it is and who you're talking to. But you really, I feel like you're wanting to immerse yourself and your focus into what doesn't feed your fear, what doesn't encourage fear from you. Your spirituality does not make you fearful. It makes you hopeful. It makes you optimistic. It makes you want to reach a depth to yourself that initiates evolution in your life. And so that's not a fear. So if you have strongly been considering like doing something different spiritually, shifting your focus to more occult matters, chakras, energy alignment, manifestation, and I mean like genuine manifestation, then it's being encouraged through spirituality. It is being encouraged. And even if you find yourself like being less, what's the word? Like having less of a direct goal or outcome spiritually, just holding on to a piece of amethyst, a piece of the crystal that brings us about and will help you to heighten your spiritual awareness. You will gain more clarity on what those things are that your focus can grasp onto. You will receive downloads, intuitive nudges on what to focus on, what to let in spiritually, what to really allow your attention to follow. I think the crystal energy will help you, especially with intention. It will help you to gain more clarity on what it is that you want to focus on, not what it is that someone else has shown you should focus on. Or it's also like the fearful here. It feels as if someone has poked holes in your dream in some way. But we'll keep looking and see. Each time I choose to tune into spirit, guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. That's absolutely what I was feeling within the amethyst here. You just tuning in to spirit, making a conscious connection, a conscious choice to choose a very spiritually led path. It's actually written all over your reading here, that this is a encouragement from your spirit guides to help you walk through this fear. You will be receiving a lot of guidance to handle this fear, a lot of guidance to navigate how you can keep fear from keeping you stagnant and keeping you unmoving. So it's a choice. It will be a choice every day you wake up. Like many other choices that you have, you can choose to, again, embrace the fear, or you can choose to embrace the broader lesson of the fear that exists within you. And you will be choosing. I think you may wake up every day choosing to pray. That can be a way to tune into spirit. So there's some situation in your life that has gotten you to prayer at this point, pile number 3, whether you call it prayer or not, and whether it's just communion with your ancestors or your spirit guides or whatever, however you label that communication with the spiritual realm, that I feel like is what you're choosing to incorporate into your life more and more, to embrace a higher truth, and to allow you to be directed. So let's see, what else do I want to do? I'm going to do some tarot now for you, pile number 3, and see what the situation was for you. I'm going to look for more detail in regards to an apology that you needed, what the situation was for you. We've gotten a clear look as to how it has impacted you, this fear around your abundance, your fortune, your fortitude, even, I'm hearing, in order to make that abundance appear in your life. So I'm going to look for more details in the situation. Please, Spirit. Okay. Ace of Swords in reverse. You have confusion. Yeah. It has caused a lot of confusion, no clarity, no outlet. Just confusion. And with confusion bred fear. So maybe you have been actively trying to manifest a new mindset for yourself with the Ace of Swords here. A new mindset, a new outlook, a new perspective in some way. And let's see what the word says. Breakthrough. Yeah. Really trying to break through this fear. With the Ace of Swords, you've been trying to manifest it. But like I was mentioning, I feel like you were manifesting out of fear. And so while you were trying to find this breakthrough around your emotional, like, bottled upness, pent upness, it has almost caused just more confusion, because your outlook, your perspective is, this will never happen. Or I'm too afraid to let this happen or to activate this thing in my life. I'm too afraid. And it's subconscious. Those fears are very much so subconscious, because I see you in the physical plane actively trying to manifest. Again, with the green fortune here, or green aventurine. You've actively been trying to manifest opportunities for yourself. And it's been through fear. It's been through doubt. It's been through confusion. And it could be because, you were trusting in an energy that wasn't yourself, that wasn't your spirit guides, that wasn't your spiritual team. You've been relying on logic, it almost feels like, which we're in a logic-based world. So that's not abnormal, but you also find out that this is not the way that I want to continue about this in the pursuit of my dreams and my prosperity, in whatever way that is supposed to show up. I want to do it not less logically, because again, we're still in a logic-based world with logic-based systems, but I want to have a certain level of faith and spirituality that is so strong that my manifestations are drenched in that spiritually before it even makes its way to me physically. Let's see what else, please, Spirit. For pile number 1, why is the Ace of Swords here? I mean, pile number 3. It's like pile number 1. Oh, beautiful. Cups energy flying out for you. You have the 10 of Cups with bliss, period. And you have the Knight of Cups with charm. Okay. So, I absolutely love this for you, because you're finding your bliss. You're releasing the fear. You're communicating, because we have Mercury here in the adventurine. You're communicating your deepest heart's desires, and like not attaching fear to them as you speak them. I do feel like with this Knight of Cups here, again, people will typically read the Knight of Cups as someone coming to romance you, coming to wine and dine you, or something like that. And I feel like you're trying to charm your own manifestations into this world. You're trying to speak nicely to the things that you want to manifest, so that it reaches you in bliss and happiness, not, again, through confusion. So I feel like there is this energy, especially in the 10 of Cups, of support around you. And it may not be a lot of people. It may be very, quality over quantity, in regards to the kind of connections that you have in your life that are encouraging you to release your fear, to step up into this like authoritative place in your life and really speak beautiful things over your manifestations, trying to romance your manifestations into your life, trying to basically, make the environment so inviting. Yeah, that's, I'm going to say invitable. That's not the word, but making the environment so inviting that your manifestations are just like, yeah, let me go over there and see what this energy is about, because they finally have called me to them with such charm and such ease. Your manifestations don't want you to be afraid of them. Pile number 3. So you have companionship that is encouraging you to manifest through ease, through delight, through bliss, and not through confusion or fear or anxiety. Let's see what else. And I think this energy is, it's like, I haven't gotten where this apology may be coming from. It could be an apology from yourself, honestly. It doesn't have to be another party that has done you wrong or who has made you confused, made you fearful. It doesn't have to be any of that. It could be your own fears, your own worries, your own thoughts that keep you confused and that keep you from accessing your bliss continuously, because you have it here with the 10 of Cups. You have bliss and peace. With the spirituality here, you have bliss and peace, but sometimes you just don't believe in it so wholeheartedly. Even the Knight of Cups underneath charm is moody. So I feel like if this energy gets out of balance for you, and you kind of revert back to fear-based thoughts and beliefs that cause confusion in your life, that don't align with the manifestations of your life, you get really moody. And in a sense where everything is bottled up emotionally, and you feel as if you have no outlet, but you absolutely do with the 10 of Cups here. You have an outlet, you have a support system, you have something or someone there for you emotionally that is helping you to say, like a check-in. Like, okay, well, today, what are you manifesting this out of? What energy are you tapping into, accessing to manifest your desires? Is it fear-based? Is it, logic-based? Or is it faith-based and happiness-based? And they're going to be there for you as a reminder. But I do feel like this is more of an apology from yourself versus another person. Let's see what else. Oh, okay. The Devil card. Like, it was at the bottom of the deck and then it just came out. So attachment. I'm going to put this over here. And what am I picking up from this Devil card? With the word attachment and release being underneath that, it's very clear. You are attached to your fear. It is your safeguard. It keeps you not expecting, but it also keeps you from expecting greatness. You are attached, I feel like, to hardship, to hard things. You are attached to certain thoughts, again, that stem around your confusion. And you may even have this attachment to the material plane with the green aventurine here that drudges up these emotional issues, whatever is lingering in your heart chakra. And so I do believe that with this knowledge, with this recognition, you're trying to release your attachments to your fears. I see it. It is a goal for you. It is something that you're trying to move through easily rather than forcefully. Like, trying to go off of something cold turkey is much harder than just gradually lessening the ways that you interact with something. So in the Devil card, I see you trying to gradually release your attachments to your fear, accept a certain level of bliss in your life, because the Devil card also tells me, just how it is depicted here. You're focused on what isn't serving you. Your attachments are focused on what's not good for you, what has tempted you into believing that you are less than what you deserve. And you're working through it so hard. It's deeply ingrained here with the rainbow obsidian. You see flashes of it from time to time. It's like you see flashes of the bliss, because we talked about the rainbow, of course, and it's in the Ten of Cups. It's so beautiful, actually, to think about it in that way. And so when you get peaks of it, of yourself, of your shadow self, and the things that still are submerged and internal, you have the opportunity to attach yourself to something different. Let's see what else. Yeah. Let's see what else. One more card, please, for pile number 3. Oh, okay. 4 of Pentacles, security. Yeah. It's like all these other cards popped out, but that was the one that wanted to be seen. And Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck with compassion. Love that. So, security. And then the word underneath that is openness, which is very interesting as the opposite energy. But I do feel like you have a strong desire for security, whether you have it or not, whether you have it emotionally and rather you want it more so physically. You overall, the theme is you want and need security. We all do. If we feel as if we don't have that, especially emotionally, with the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck, we can lean towards more codependent behaviors that can tend to isolate us from other people who are just trying to support us. And I feel like that's where that moodiness comes in too. It's like you have certain emotions that may or may not, take what resonates, may or may not be off-putting to other people when they're just trying to help you. And so the compassion comes in when you realize, I'm building security, and that means that I have to have some kind of secure foundation in order to build it. I have security, and I have the ability to deepen and grow it as well. But your initial thought process or outlook on the situation may not be that. It may not be like, oh, I already have my foundation for security, so let me keep building. You may be tempted or attached to thought patterns that, again, reintroduce fear that says, even my foundation is not secure enough. Even though it is. And so, again, I feel that you are deeply, deeply, deeply working through a lot of emotional things connected to the physical plane. I feel like I have read this reading so effortlessly because it is something that I am witnessing within myself as a challenge and a struggle. And pile number 3, you're absolutely not alone in this. You're not the only person in the world that needs and wants security as a foundational desire. There's no need to fear your desires for security because that's a real thing. What is a life without security but free falling, And that's not what you're necessarily interested in. Even though the devil will tell you, or the devil card will tell you, that you have to do X, Y, and Z before you can feel secure, you absolutely have your security now in your life. And it's building, it's growing. And you, I also think, are trying to challenge yourself in regards to releasing the fear around not having enough security, because the 4 of Pentacles is a lower it's a lower octave. Yeah, a lower octave of security compared to the 10 of Pentacles or the 8 of Pentacles. And so, or even the 9 of Pentacles. And so you want to appreciate your security now in your life versus, if this was the 5 of Pentacles, saying, you know, because I feel like sometimes the Five of Pentacles tells us we have to start over. We have to embrace change in some way. But the Four of Pentacles says you are building. You have security. You have a structure. It is small and inviting and welcoming you to grow your security in unique and individual ways. Again, through spirituality, through prayer, through speaking abundance over yourself, through speaking prosperity over yourself, encouraging yourself and not confusing yourself with the back and forth. It feels like as well of embracing your fear, but also trying to let it go. So I'm going to see through the Oracle just a few more cards here on what other further clarity we can gain before we wrap up your reading. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Thank you. Just 2 more if I can. Okay, well, while Spirit is loading this deck up for 2 more cards for you, we're going to read this one. Nobility with Leo and Taurus here. Love that. Be noble, for you are made of stardust. Being high in character, splendid in quality, composing oneself well. Yes, so your emotional state has, you know, it has fluctuated. Especially because I feel like with the bottled up energy and the Devil card here, you know, and the Ten of Cups, while things are blissful and evolving and deepening emotionally for you, you do still have these emotional reactions that don't make you feel as noble as you would like. You absolutely are high in character, but I feel like you forget that about yourself sometimes. You forget about the quality that you were made of. And this is your reminder, especially when things are emotionally overwhelming. You feel like you could erupt. You feel like something is going to spill out of you emotionally because you feel a lack of security. You feel a lack of support. You feel confused or afraid. Remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of your true character and ask yourself, am I acting out of fear or out of my true character, which is high in quality and in vibration? Let's see. Pile number 3. What else for pile number 3, please, Spirit? And I feel like this is just an apology to yourself, from yourself. I'm going to get into that as I'm channeling that apology for you. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. What else? I might pull them out for you. Let's see. Resilience wanted to come out for you with Taurus and Aquarius energy. And it says, you are stronger than you think. Capacity to regroup quickly, elasticity and ability to spring back into shape. Yes, so your fears are not going to deplete you. They're not going to win. I see you being very resilient, very focused, and original in your approach to releasing what it is that needs to be released. You are unafraid to shine authentically with the Leo here. And you're gonna, when you feel out of character, regroup faster, I feel like, than before, or faster than you expected from these kind of triggers that come up for you. But I see you being very resilient in your approach, saying, my fears will not win over me. My fears will not confuse me and make me think that I'm someone that I am not, or that I deserve something that I do not deserve. Oh, Okay. Quite a lot came out, so I'm going to keep shuffling. I just need one more. Quite a few. Just one more, please, Spirit. Okay. That was it. Direction with Aries and Scorpio here. Aries, again, you could have that heavy in your chart. Direction says, have an aim or risk ending up where you are headed. A course or a trajectory along which one moves guidance towards a point. Wow. So yes, you have direction and guidance that you're tapping into spiritually and energetically as well. That's just helping you to move forward through this fear. I think you are breaking through this fear. You're breaking through it. And it's it's going to be intense in a way that lends towards difficulty, but it won't be difficult in the sense that it keeps you down and it keeps you from embracing this direction that you sense. Have an aim or risk ending up where you are headed. You want a direction. You don't want to, be aimless in life overall, but even through this fear, you want to have a purpose at the end of it all, to say, oh, I worked through my fear for this. I got through it for this. It doesn't have to be something physical or tangible. It doesn't have to be a certain amount of money at all. It could just be for a feeling, a certain energy of pride that you have for yourself to say, I use every ounce of my spiritual guidance, intuitiveness, and connection to heal something that I didn't think I would be able to. I have evolved so much that I now see myself as resilient and noble, abundant, direct, and blissful, happy, taken care of, secure. And I did this through my fear. I did it scared anyway. And that fear evolved, it subsided, it changed itself into something else. And I was able to continue to move myself forward. I was able to release my attachments as an identity. I no longer identify with fear. At the bottom of the deck, you have Capricorn and Libra energy again. Vantage. If you don't know history, you are doomed to repeat it. Informed perspective, knowledgeable viewpoint, historical grounding. You are grounded in your history, but again, you're not attached to it. You do know your history. You absolutely are able to see yourself and how you have, again, reacted and attached yourself to fear. It may have been like a pattern for you in your life where you thought that you had overcome it quite a few times in different ways, and maybe different ways you have. You absolutely have. But this is, again, teaching you to work with this energy differently than you have in the past, and to have an informed perspective over your point, like where you are in life right now and where you're headed and how you want it to not be directionless. Okay. And so the apology that I'm sensing for you from yourself, pile number 3, is you saying to yourself, I am sorry that fear has led me into outcomes that were not of my highest good. I am sorry that I chose to focus on my fear and attach myself to it so deeply that it felt like a relationship that I could not break. I am sorry that with all the choices that I had in life, I still chose to choose my fear, even though I knew that I had other choices. I am human, and it's okay that I did those things because it led me to where I am right now in order to choose a different vantage point. I'm sorry that I did not see myself as deserving of acting with nobility in certain situations that triggered me. I am sorry that I doubted my resiliency, and I gave up in a sense emotionally at some point in some ways. Maybe it's possible that you could even be apologizing to say, I'm sorry that I took advantage of the deep, meaningful relationships in my life that have tried to help me overcome this fear, help me move through this fear, help me to accept and embrace my bliss. And I'm now willing to interact in those connections with pure joy and happiness, with a different perspective. I'm sorry that I let my perspective go. And this is the perspective of like optimism, faith, and hope. I want to regain this. I want to claim it. I want to hold myself to an optimistic perspective that abolishes fear from my life, because it no longer is necessary. It no longer is necessary for it to exist. I'm ready to charm the fuck out of my life and to make it as beautiful, sensual, open, and spiritual as possible. Okay, pile number 3. This was your message. This was an apology that you needed to hear. I hope that it resonated deeply for you and it touched your spirit in some way that is impactful and soul-reaching. If it did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love it if you decided to leave a comment down below on how this reading resonated for you. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful crystal. So gorgeous. And I'm going to put it off to the side here and we'll get started right away with the energy, the overall theme of your reading. And you chose distant. You have been isolating yourself to protect your energy. Your positive energy is needed to help others. Step out of hermit mode soon. Very, very interesting. Okay. So there's a situation in your life that has brought this distant energy out of you. And while it was necessary to protect your energy, you are now being encouraged to step out of hermit mode and in one way or another provide this positive energy that you have in order to help others. And of course, we do all things in balance here. Everything that we aim for is to be in balance in one way or another. So while it is being encouraged, of course, it is also being encouraged to look at when it is needed to have a bit of distance, because we can't give it all. We can't give all of ourselves. That is why we sometimes need to be called back into hermit mode, because we have given too much or overextended ourselves. But you've done a really good job of recalibrating your energy, really keeping it to yourself, getting to know yourself, and your behaviors when it comes to being around other people. And because of this, you are being called and asked to come out, to step out of hermit mode soon. So I'm going to look and see how this is connected to an apology that you have been needing to hear through the oracle, through the crystal oracle. Let's see. Number 4. My goodness. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I think that this is your crystal. That would be so cool. And these 2 other ones came and flew out. I'm going to put them back, but you had lepidocrocite, a lepidocrocite, one of those, and jade. But I'm going to keep shuffling for your second one. We're going to read Moonstone first, which looks like this, and I swear it does. It looks like your crystal, but I'm not really sure what your crystal is. So, yeah. Moonstone is connected to the energy of nurturing, divine feminine, and intuitive. It is also connected to the zodiacs Cancer, Libra, and Scorpio, and is connected to the planet Moon. And it says, drawing power from the divine feminine, Moonstone connects you to goddess energy, activating your intuition. Moonstone can boost clairvoyant gifts and metaphysical powers, asking that you trust in the unknown, beyond what you can see in this realm. The reflective nature of this crystal is much like the moon phases themselves, a cycle of change from new beginnings to full release. Moonstone balances masculine energy with the feminine touch, teaching the art of receptivity and serendipity. It is especially potent during the waxing moon. So beautiful. You absolutely are getting in touch with your divine feminine energy. It is here. And as we were talking about balancing, we were also talking about, or as the card is talking about balancing, we were also talking about that as well. And you have Libra's energy here, which is known for having this aptitude to sometimes be able to, balance relationships really well with the self, if the energy is harmonious, of course. And so with the moonstone here, yeah, you have shifted and changed quite a lot. And it could be especially within the last month, because moon cycles, they cycle out pretty quickly. And for the past month, you've had a lot of changes. For the past few months, you've had a lot of changes that you've witnessed within yourself. Again, because you have been distant enough to be able to pay so much attention to yourself, if that makes sense. So with the moonstone energy here, I do see this nurturing spirit that you have that is needed. Other people are needing that. And of course, the state of the world that we're in, nurturing is sometimes harder to come by, especially self-nurturing, but having other people be nurturing towards us it feels like a privilege. It feels like a privilege to experience your energy, because not that many people are nurturing. They're not that caring towards other people or other people's hardships, and you are. I see that with the Cancer here. You're very intuitive. You absolutely pick up on people's needs, their emotional state, and you pick up on them needing positivity in your life. And you may have been very good at this in the past. And again, it may have had many cycles of needing to come back into balance, because just because you can intuit that someone needs you, someone needs this light and beautiful energy that you have, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give it. Because once you start, some people are unintentionally or intentionally like these energy vampires, where they just can't get enough of whatever it is that you have going on. And again, that leaves you drained. So that's where balance is essential. But you are finding that balance. You have found that balance. And so I do believe emotionally, like the moonstone here, you could be entering into a new beginning as you have just experienced a full release of energy that, again, kept you drained for some reason, is what keeps coming up. Let's see what else I can see just through these two cards. Metaphysical powers, yes, being very in tune, intuitive, like connected to your intuitive abilities and powers. There's something here about trusting the unknown beyond what you can see as well here. But I'm going to look and see what else I can see through the Oracle for pile number 4, please, Spirit. Pile number 4. Okay. Fluorite. You have these really beautiful, like, crystals that are almost like this color, pastel iridescent. This one is a little bit more vibrant on the back, but fluorite can come in different shades of vibrancy. And you have sodalite at the bottom of the deck, which looks like this crystal. So gorgeous. Like, so gorgeous. Okay, and I'll read both for you. Fluorite is connected to the energy of organization, clarity, and priorities. It is also connected to the zodiac's Capricorn and Pisces, and it's connected to the planet Mercury. And this card says, structure can provide freedom, and fluorite helps organize your life from top to bottom, heightening focus and releasing unnecessary stress. Fluorite assists with bringing clarity into your life, lifting your mental capabilities for crystal clear intuition and empowered decision making. By taking your discernment up a notch, fluorite protects against bad influences and psychic manipulation. Fluorite both grounds and lifts your energy, connecting your body to the earth and to higher spiritual awareness at the same time. Prioritize balance. It's absolutely necessary for you. Balance is absolutely necessary for you. Maybe because it's like very easy for you to become unbalanced depending on the emotional situation or the energetic situation. Structure can provide freedom. I feel like you have, yes, within this distance, you have found structure. And I'm trying to gather all the energy to see where there is an apology that is needed. And I'm sure it's coming because something has absolutely made you distant and isolatory. It's for a reason, of course. Probably for you, in order for you to release unnecessary stress. Because, as good as it is to be connected to people, as humbling, as nurturing as it can be to be connected to other people, it can be absolutely stressful. Depending on the energy, depending on the energies that meet you, depending on, how their energy fluctuates as well. And so I feel like there's some kind of energy that has caused you to be distant and to need to reorganize yourself emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But I do see a heightened level of focus and awareness coming from for you from this as well. And you receiving a lot of clarity. It could be you receiving a lot of clarity around your purpose and the purpose of certain abilities that you have that you, again, don't witness in other people necessarily. And, why it's necessary for you to hold certain energies and certain energetic powers as well. Let's see what else. Sodalite is connected to the energy of logic, instincts, and rationality. It is connected to the zodiac Sagittarius, and it is connected to Venus, the planet. And this says, rational thinking is heightened with the logic stone, known to clear mental confusion and enhance analytical and creative problem solving. Because you also had that here as well. Let me see. Oh, decision making. So problem solving and decision making, those feel very similar to me. And I wanted to point that out. But you have it like heightened through both cards. Where was I? Problem solving. Okay, so for those on the sensitive side of the spectrum, sodalite helps ease anxiety around emotions and calms inclinations toward flighty feelings. The stone provides insight into truth that makes sense, not just logically, but also intuitively. It calls you back to your animal instincts, guiding you to trust your bodily sensations and the messages your physical self is constantly sending to your brain. Wow. That feels very aligned to the rest of your reading. I feel like your instincts are absolutely heightened at this time. Like, you're aware of your sensitive side emotionally because you have the moonstone here. You're very in tune and sensitive emotionally. Again, not just to yourself, but to other people and their emotions. And I feel like that can sometimes cause confusion as well, especially if you are an empath and your abilities to sense other people and their feelings. It makes it a little bit more confusing to pinpoint whose feelings belong to who, or where do these emotions belong if they do not belong to me. So I feel like this is again, within your distance, you've been able to recalibrate your own energy. You've been able to recalibrate your own emotions, what feels true to you. And it has helped a lot in regards to clarity and logic, your problem solving and decision making skills. You feel less cluttered by other people's emotions or energy. And this is a gift that you have strengthened during your hermit mode so that you can be aware and around other people without taking on too much. So you have learned to trust your bodily sensations and instincts, trust the intuitive messages that you feel physically. Even if you are trying to place logic, you're trying to say, what is this emotion telling me? Where does it belong? Who does it belong to? And it has, again, heightened your abilities, your instinctual abilities to categorize, to organize. Because yes, you had that as well, to organize mine versus theirs, so that it makes the interaction with other people more genuine because you know where the emotions are coming from. Or you have a very strong sense of where they're coming from, even if you don't know why people are emitting this emotion necessarily because they haven't communicated it just yet. You still know that it's not necessarily yours and it belongs to someone else. And maybe you can help someone to do something with that, with, balance being a priority in that as well, and not trying to save someone from their own, emotional torment, but just to be a beacon of light, I feel like. Absolutely. Because that is what the moon is in darkness. It is a beacon of light. It calls people who cannot access their own moon energy to trust their intuitive abilities within the darkness, to sense their way through their emotional feelings. And I feel like that's what you are for other people, in a sense, in a way. And we're going to get deeper into this reading and see what affirmation is here for them in regards to an apology that they need to hear. Please, Spirit. Pile number 4. Pile number 4. What has caused this distance? Pile number 4. What has caused this distance from people, please, Spirit? An affirmation for pile number 4. I think I'm gonna split the deck and pull it out just to see. Yep. Yes. Beautiful. Very beautiful. Okay, so you have, I trust that my powerful intentions combined with my faith are enough to allow my vision to become a reality. You do have a vision. You do. And it has not necessarily felt like it could be a reality or that it could be realistic in your life in a way, because of something in your life that has made you feel more distant from your ambitions or your goals, which don't feel necessarily physical. I feel like this is a message all about connection and being connected to other people with a healthy balance, being able to be that beacon or that light, again, without being someone's savior, or feeling the need to save, or feeling the need to isolate yourself because you haven't been able to find a healthy balance that works for you. So I feel like that is a part of your vision. And I feel like you placed yourself in hermit mode in order to find those powerful intentions, in order to come into contact with intentions that work for you, that resonate with your energy, that align with your energy. So, to me, it means that during your hermit mode, some of the intentions that you could have been focusing on with faith are, like, I want to be connected to people deeply and on an emotional sense without feeling like it's unhealthy or unbalanced, or that someone is emotionally depending on me for positivity in their life. That has been hard, I feel like, for you. And for some reason, you have learned this ability of yours, this empathic ability of yours, in a way that has, like something has told you, oh, I have to utilize this. I have to give of this. I feel like in order to feel valuable, or in order to feel like I am doing enough. Yeah. And so now, out of hermit mode, you're saying, these are my intentions on how I want to connect with other people. This is the energy that I still want to carry, but this is how I want to interact with people. And I feel like with my intentions set, with my faith aimed high, and me being more hopeful, with balance, I know that my vision can become my reality. At the bottom of the deck, you have energy flows where my intention goes. And so that just echoes this affirmation for you so beautifully, saying, your intentions are correct. The things that you've worked on within this hermit mode that has lasted however long for you is absolutely going to be flowing with the energy of alignment, because you have been very intentional. And like I sensed, it's not like you want to be isolatory. You don't want to isolate yourself. You want to be in connection because you're so good at it. You're so good at it. You're too good at it. And that's where that balance is necessary. That's where you need it to come in for you. So I'm going to look and see how you are achieving this. For pile number 4, please, Spirit. Pile number 4. This is the one. Very beautiful. Inner child with the rhodochrosite here. And at the bottom of the deck, you have Amazonite and Harmony. And I will read both, of course. The rhodochrosite derives its name from the Greek word for rose, red, the color for love. The layer of white, gray, and black speckles resemble layers of sediment buried deep within. It is the crystal for retrieving and releasing old childhood wounds to heal the inner child. Rhodochrosite invokes a soothing, comfortable energy to the heart chakra and promotes forgiveness and self-love. Affirmation: I embrace my past, knowing that it has made me the person I am today. So beautiful. So beautiful, because this is about the relationships in your life and your childhood wounds, old childhood wounds. I think your inner child is very generous with love and affection, especially to other people. Again, that's why they crave that genuine love that you emit, because I feel like you have a love of all things and all people, that of course are aligned with the love that you give out, of course. But there's some wound here around love and emitting that love, and your inner child is communicating with you or to you through this message and saying there are still some internal wounds that are buried deep, and it's time for you to retrieve them. It's time for you to look at the state of your heart chakra, look at what state it is in, and look at where forgiveness can be released into your atmosphere around the old wounds and trauma that you feel around connectivity to other people. Maybe it's the case where, your inner child has felt like it has been taken advantage of because of the love that you had to offer in past situations, or maybe, just the quality of your love taken advantage of in general, where there wasn't enough balance because someone needed more of it. This is a huge theme of your reading. But the affirmation, as it states, I embrace my past knowing that it has made me the person I am today. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the love that you give or have to offer. It is harmonious. It brings people together. It illuminates in darkness, in the darkest of times for people. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Balance is your key to the door that has felt locked for so long. And so some of you may be setting the intention of healing these wounds based on the moon cycles, that maybe you're doing different moon healing activities for your inner child and with your inner child in order to activate these different levels of emotional growth throughout the month and throughout the different phases of the moon. I'm not sure. I can't remember how many days it takes for the moon to cycle through the entire zodiac. But I feel like if you look that up, and in those amount of days, you will find that there's different stages of healing that you have initiated in your life. So, you don't have to necessarily start when the moon is in Aries or whatever. You can start when you feel called to start, and then, begin to analyze how you are shifting with the cycles of the moon. Yes. Amazonite says, this blue-green color in Amazonite combines the throat and the heart chakras, prompting you to communicate from the heart and speak in a loving way. Amazonite brings balance, harmony, and the ability to see both sides of an issue. It keeps strife at bay by helping you to focus on kindness rather than proving your point. Affirmation, I am a calm and harmonious person. I speak words that are kind, supportive, and loving. So this definitely feels like that balance that you're trying to call in, where you speak genuinely with your heart chakra in mind, but keeping that throat chakra activated and not stifled. Because I feel like, again, some people can love you for your silence. They can love you, just because you are around and being that supportive person. And sometimes, words aren't always necessary, but I do see it being a part of this crystal energy that you have within this reading of like speaking in a loving way whenever it is that you do speak, communicating from your heart whenever it is that you do communicate. And this card is also talking about being able to see both sides to a situation, which is very Libra energy. Being able to calculate why your energy is needed in a situation, but also why it is needed to be balanced before entering any situation in your life. What is the importance that you are gaining from the words that you speak and the energy that you emit out to other people? Yeah, being very intentional about the things that you say, because I feel like you are coming more into contact with the idea that words are spells, and the things that you say creates the energy around you. So being loving, communicating again with love, so that is the environment in which words exist in your life. And whether the other person or the other parties choose to communicate through love is their choice. But with your intention and your faith and your intention, you are creating the environment that you wish to exist in, not necessarily the environment that you wish to exist in with other people. That's why that hermit mode worked out so well for you, was because you were getting it right just for yourself. And so I think I saw something earlier today on Instagram, that they were saying, it was a post, and they were saying, how can you be so rooted and grounded in your own energy that you can walk into any environment, hostile or welcoming, knowing who you are, knowing your truth, and knowing why it is important for you to be in that room, regardless of if people are echoing your same beliefs or not. And I found that very powerful, and I feel like this is somehow part of your reading as well, of like, can you go into environments that are dark, that are, not as intuitive or not as welcoming of that intuitive energy as environments that you're used to? Can you go into those environments and still shine unapologetically and still speak with love and still be that same person that you know that you are, who you are? So that came up as a strong message for you just now. And I feel like, especially if your inner child or the child version of you has grown up in environments where you were told to be kind no matter what, and you were told to respect other people's opinions no matter if they are harmful to you or not, you're healing that wound, because that is a wound. We should be taught and brought up to, yes, respect other people and their perspectives, but to also not allow harm to happen based on what I'm saying or what the other person is saying, not to accept it as well. And so some of you were probably told as a child you have to accept other people's wrongdoings or harm onto you because that's just the way the world works, and there's no one who's going to be there to save you emotionally. So you kind of just have to toughen up and take it on the chin, as they would say. And you are absolutely over that. Like with this hermit mode, with this intention, you're like, okay, if I know that I'm going into these environments that don't necessarily think or respond to situations in the same way as I do, how do I hold my power in this? Because you're really, really good in environments that need you. But some environments won't necessarily know that they need your energy, maybe until after you're already gone. So how do you handle those situations? I think you're learning more and more as you step out of hermit mode, and you may have certain situations that come up that challenge you, that challenge what you have gained internally. Let's drop that on my hands. Ooh, you had the strength card at the bottom of the deck before I started shuffling on camera. But yeah, that's also an aspect of your strength too, of like being courageous and saying, this environment may not have necessarily been made for me, but I'm going to exist here authentically. So let's see, what details can I get for pile number 4, please, Spirit? Because I want to know more about why there's an apology needed here for pile number 4, please, Spirit. Pile number 4. Yeah. You have the 4 of Wands with joy. Wow. That is so beautiful. Like, can we just take a moment to soak in like the calmness of this card? I feel like these tones of color definitely promote just calmness. I don't know. That's what I felt when I saw it. But you have joy here. And underneath the joy, when you turn the card upside down, it says uprooting. Yeah. Fours can do a lot, or deal a lot with our root, our foundational system, our beginnings, our origins. Because the 4th house astrologically is ruled by those things. ruled by like the upbringing that we had, where we were previously rooted before we decided to uproot ourselves and to find joy in a new place. And so with the Four of Wands here and there being joy at the center, I do believe that you are finding a new way to access your roots of joy. Because, you were born with this energy. You were born with this gift. Again, I think empathy is a gift that not many people decide to access within themselves. And I think you are looking to root yourself in joy, or reroot yourself in joy in some kind of way. So it may be, I don't know where I'm getting this from, but some of you may be interested in connecting with the joyful members of your ancestry, the people who try to access joy intentionally, no matter, what the situation was. You're trying to emulate that energy, I feel like. And for some reason, it's coming up as ancestral and not necessarily, the people who are in your family physically, like present day. That's not to mean that they don't have joy that they access. It just means that there's a transcendent energy, a very spiritual energy around you. And there could be divine feminines within your ancestry that have an easier access to joy with the moon energy here. And they are helping you to learn how to receive it, how to seep yourself in joy, because it's not necessarily something that you have been used to. Especially because you are like this light worker for other people, this energy cleanser for other people. You're used to being submerged in the darkness and working and finding your way through that. And so joy is, I think, harder for you to access. And the more you step out of your hermit mode, the more you will have access to different sources and streams of joy. Wow. You also have justice with fairness. And underneath that is dishonesty, if the card were in reverse. So you do have even more balance. You may have a lot of Libra placements in your chart, or just very impactful Libra placements. Or you could have a lot of Libra energy around you. And what this tells me is that you are absolutely finding your joy. You are finding that balance of peace and harmony, but also connectivity with other people. You are finding that healing that you deserve. The healing that you deserve in order to be, again, connected to other people. Because you will not be experiencing this joy alone. I feel like that's why it's coming out right underneath the step out of hermit mode. It's not like you weren't happy to yourself. Maybe you absolutely preferred it that way for a long time. What I'm saying is you are finding and accessing more joy, more channels and streams of joy by stepping out of this hermit mode and being connected deeply to other people, where you did not think that that was a possibility for yourself in the past. And again, I keep hearing things. So I'm going to say them as I hear them. Some of you may have just completed a energetic contract of some sort where you were required to spend time to yourself. You were required to recalibrate your energy to self because you spent a majority of the beginning of your life or previous times trying to find fairness in all situations with all people through all things. And sometimes you gypped yourself in situations. You really, you cut yourself off from that energy. And so now you're finding a true balance of accessing joy, but also purpose as well. Let me see what else is here for you, pile number 4. It's funny, your pile number 4, you had the 4 of Wands. Oh, the 3 of Wands, adventure. Very much so. So this is beautiful. You could be going on an adventure or just feeling more adventurous at the time of you watching this. But the Wands is all about energy, and you have two really beautiful energetic cards here. Just saying, like, you are no longer active, or you're no longer responding to situations as if they have already failed, or that you are a failure in a way. You're responding to situations with a more adventurous outlook, more joyful outlook, being very, like, channeling that optimism, being optimistic, allowing yourself to be optimistic about connections in your life and future connections too. I think you are in a state in your life where you have the ability to meet new people and experience new things. That's what I was saying, new channels of joy. So new experiences, meeting new people. We don't have, Nine of Cups. So meeting new people and forming new bonds, or replenishing the bonds that already exist in your life with the Nine of Cups here, in contentment. Being content with your emotional state enough to, again, come out of that hermit mode and to try new experiences, try new things, live life in a new and adventurous way. This is very intriguing because I'm not necessarily picking up on the apology just yet, but I may. What else is here for them? Please, Spirit, for pile number 4. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to keep them. Okay, yeah. I'm going to keep them. You have the Hanged Man, which is that it's somewhat deeply connected to the hermit mode, and I'll get into that, but it says surrender. And underneath surrender, it said stalling as well. And you had the 3 of Cups with celebration. And then underneath celebration is crowded. So you definitely are not interested in overcrowding your energy. You're not asking for 50 new friends. You are simply just asking or welcoming in new energy with a balance. With a balance of, like, almost familiarity as well. Like, you don't want to be overcrowded again with people's emotions or their energy. And so sometimes a smaller group of friends can be just as impactful, if not more impactful, than having a larger group of friends. And I think this is really what you're interested in. You have the 3 and the 3 here. Oh, wow. And then the 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And honey, 10 of Pentacles underneath that. Okay. So you have an abundance of, first of all, you could be seeing 333 a lot. That could be an angel number that you feel divinely connected to. And the 10 of Pentacles is showing me that you have, you have these familial soul ties that, again, are contracted to you in this lifetime that you're meant to access and come into connection with. You may be afraid to be connected to people. This 3 of Swords tells me that you have had deep intellectual and emotional wounds based on being connected to other people, heartache. And so underneath the heartache is forgiveness. And I feel like this is where your apology is stemming from. But first, I'm going to get into the Hanged Man, which is number 12, which reduces to another 3. 333, 444, maybe those numbers that you see a lot, or 1111. But the Hanged Man tells me that you are surrendering. You are, you are hanging up this, distance makes the heart grow fonder kind of energy. You are hanging up your hat of, I have to keep my distance for safety. You are surrendering these beliefs, and you're no longer stalling the connections that are meant to come into your life emotionally and energetically. I think For you, it has come to a point where you have had to, again, with intention, initiate this welcoming energy for these deep connections to come into your life and to kind of prove you wrong about previous connections and friendships and relationships in the past. It's introducing a new way of thought for you, because the swords, it deals with intellectual, mental, but even justice is ruled by Libra, and that is an intellectual zodiac sign, one who is logic based. Let me see what else is here, because you have an emotionally difficult bottom of the deck, but with the energy flows where my intention goes, I do believe that you're less interested in focusing your intention on the heartache that you've experienced in past relationships. Like, there was a relationship above all relationships, whether that is romantic or not, that kind of left this cloud over, the possibility of other relationships entering into your life, a wound. That inner child card is loud and strong here with the wound. And your heart is wounded. Underneath it all, underneath any celebratory moments, any feelings of wanting to be adventurous, any feelings of even like things really being balanced or coming into balance in your life, you still have this heartache that keeps you distant from other people. And I mean like distance in a sense where you could be in a room filled with the people who feel like they know you best, and you start opening up about stuff that no one has ever heard you say. No one knows those certain things about you because you, again, have kept an emotional distance. And part of it has been for safety. Part of it has been because you have not wanted to be manipulated. Again, you have not wanted your energy to be manipulated or taken advantage of. And something has told you that this distance is a priority. Rather than balance, distance is a priority. And it has caused you a lot of stress unnecessarily that you're interested in releasing. But you cannot do that without discernment. Discerning the self, yourself, looking at yourself and looking again at how you interact with joy in your life. Do you welcome it with open arms, or do you shy away from it because you're like, well, what is this energy bringing to me? It sounds like joy, but what is hidden underneath it? There's this level of distrust in your distant card where you don't trust the energy that is inviting you to come closer because, again, of previous deep-seated wounds that exist. So in the Hangman, I see you actually literally laying in your bed. Maybe you get a lot of emotional work done in your bedroom, and work as in like observance of self and taking the time to observe yourself. You do that well in your bedroom or your sacred sleeping space. And I see you laying there thinking about all the connections that exist in your life and how they have balanced out over time simply because you have, this is what you do. You distance yourself by staying home. You're like, oh no, I can't celebrate my birthday because I'm in the house. Or, oh no, I can't celebrate this huge adventure that I just undertook because I'd rather be distant in the house. And that there's no shade. There's no shade to it. You know, hermit modes are essential to life. We can't always be outside, pile number 4. Like, it's not sustainable to life. But when you're never outside, when you never feel the sun or the wind, when you never see a friend smile in person or catch up like genuinely and authentically, it distances you more than I think that you realize. And you're a very intuitive being. You know I feel like I'm not saying anything that you're unaware of, but it doesn't make it easier for you. And so you're trying to find balance within this awareness. Just because you're aware doesn't mean that you always want to enact on the things that you're aware of. Your distance is your safety. It is absolutely your safety. If you can't get too close, you can't hurt me. You can't manipulate me. You can't change the energy of what it is that I've built internally. And that's what I felt with that other, when I was mentioning the Instagram post of how can you go into the darkest states of the world or the darkest states of anything with a deep root in your joy and in yourself. This is such a strong message. So some themes that I'm picking up around the apology that you needed to hear, maybe from a person or a situation. It will be different for every single individual who chooses this pile. But the apology, I think, is stemming around your connectivity to others and how you have learned it, how you learned to connect with people, why it is important for you to connect with people again and differently than you have in the past. I think the themes around the apology are around your inner child and how your inner child has been deeply affected by this distance. You don't get to play as often as you'd like. You don't get to be in that playful energy because you are so overwhelmed with emotional burdens that are still needing to be released. And I feel like you're being free from this. The first sentence of Fluorite said, structure can provide freedom. And I think, yes, the Four of Wands, 4 is all about structure as well, security, safety, groundedness. That is why it's connected to rootedness. And so I think you, in this hermit mode, have structured your joy, or you will be structuring your joy in order to create more freedom in your life. Freedom to experience love genuinely in all of your relationships, and to let your relationships celebrate you for showing up again as you authentically wanted to. Because I think your relationships are going to start noticing a difference of you being more communicative, you being, having a balance of, I spoke to them fairly recently and it was a great conversation. And I missed that for some time. Like, I missed this person's energy for some time. And now, I see them getting out a little bit, doing things a little differently than they would normally, being adventurous and exploring their right to joy, their absolute birthright to joy. Receiving. Like, there's also this thing about maybe you don't necessarily receive compliments, or you have a hard time receiving compliments from your friends or people that you love. But also, like, you just have a hard time, I feel like, sitting in joy. Because in the surrender here, I see you sitting. I see you relaxing. You're chill, not working too hard. But you're also alone. And again, aloneness, that being alone, being to yourself, it's healthy. You need it. You need to know how to be to yourself. But that's not your message, pile number 4. You absolutely know how to be to yourself. It's you learning how to be in a healthy, balanced connectivity with other people, and then learning to receive the love in that. Not just being there and showing up, but being present and showing up. Not worrying about your speech or how you are being perceived or coming off to other people. Not worrying about if you share too much or if you're too distant in this conversation or you're not being received well enough. You're just trying to be more present and to celebrate your, like, the fighting that it took for you to get to this celebration. Because I do, with the 3 of Swords being at the bottom of the deck, even though these cards are so beautiful, the 3 of Swords being in the undertone is like you have fought for this. You have fought to step out of your hermit mode. And it is for something beautiful, though. You're not ending one cycle of hardship to start another. You're ending this cycle in order to really claim what is trying to exist in your life fully, which is joy, celebration, and adventure. Pile number 4, please, Spirit. What else is here? Because this is a deep message. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes, hospitality. Oh, honey, some of y'all gonna be having a little small, okay, small, let me say it again, small shindig or get together. Because you have hospitality with Pisces and Taurus. Treat guests and wishes as children. Wow. Generous reception of visitors or strangers. Inclusive geniality. I don't know that last word, but treat guests and wishes as children. And how do you treat children? Pile number 4. Are you patient? Are you open and receptive to the energy of the child or of children? And not treating your guests as if they are children. Not treating them as they're children, but welcoming in their energy hospitably, as if you would a child. What do we do when a child is born? We celebrate that. So when your friends do something new in their life, or they envision something new in their life, or they experience something new in their life, being there to celebrate. But this treat guests as wishes or as children, with the 3 of Cups, it gives you are celebrating something, and it's something lovely, something luxurious, something aligned with what you have needed, especially if you've been focusing on other things and less on the celebration of life. This will be a celebration that you need or needed. You have the Thrift card here. A penny saved is a penny earned. Using money and other resources carefully and not wastefully. You have Taurus and Aries energy here as well. So some of you could have a lot of Pisces, Aries, Taurus in your natal chart. Libra, Cancer, Scorpio as well. We already mentioned Pisces. What is this? Capricorn as well. Very beautiful. Lots of Libra out. A penny saved is a penny earned. That's very interesting, especially because, I already see you at the house. You're an in the house kind of person, doing more things like that in the house. Like I know I just, spent this whole however long reading getting on you about being in the house and being to yourself. But sometimes you can invite people in. It doesn't have to be that you're going out and being out. Sometimes you can have the best times using the least amount of money, if that is a concern for you. And if you want to keep your finances in balance with the Justice card here, invite folks over. Make it a potluck. Have people bring different things so that you're not sitting and staring at each other hungry, but that it can still be a good time, and welcome them in. Welcoming. Especially if there's an energy that you feel like you're missing out on. Maybe it is financially and you want to welcome more of that energy in as well. Use what you have to invite more in with the relationships that mean the most to you or that the closest to you. One more, please, Spirit, for pile number 4. One more card, please, Spirit, for pile number 4. Just one more. There's something about how maybe you haven't hosted in the way that you've wanted to. You want to be more hospitable for other people, and you want to make your home a lovely, welcoming environment. Maybe, you wish that you could have gone to more aligned, again, and inviting parties in the past with people that are closest to you or that were close to you at the time, instead of going out to a club or something like that and you may be getting into this place, especially with the Four of Wands here, where you have a home that feels so comfortable and inviting to you because you've been in this hermit mode, and you want to share that with other people. You want to share in that joy with other people. Libra energy again, and Taurus energy again, heavy with diplomacy. And it says, blessed are the peacekeepers, skill in managing relations, tactful negotiation, mediating effectively. And so you are a diplomatic person with justice here. You are that mediating friend. That's why your positive energy is needed. You are a peacekeeper. And that's so beautiful. We've been talking about your energy this whole time. Nurturing, peacekeeper, intuitive, calm, tranquil, fair. You're so diplomatic that other people just love being around you. You bring a richness to people's lives with this Taurus energy, like drenched in these 3 cards. You bring a certain level of luxury or sensual peace. It's so peaceful that, you want to make love to the peace almost. Pile number 4. That's what you bring to other people. And you are very effective at mediating difficult situations. Again, guiding people through dark situations. You have a deep and divine skill in managing the relations in your life. And whatever has made you feel as if that is not true, whatever in the past has made you feel as if I'm not this, and I have to provide even more physically than I can because my emotional state is just not enough. There's something about that coming up as well. If those are the things that you have, struggled with, this is your reminder that you are very much so the person that people say that you are. Energy does not lie. It is very truthful. It is very telling. And your energy speaks volumes when you walk into a room and have said nothing, okay? And it's important for you to remember this so that you no longer keep it held hostage in a sense, because you are still trying to be the most diplomatic. You're still trying to be like, it's not ready yet. My energy is not ready yet because I have to be this for this person. I have to be this for this person. And I have to find out how to balance these things for these people in order for them to, you see what I'm saying? Like you, as I tell my wife, you over edit yourself so much that sometimes you're to the point of like, you know what, just scratch that. I won't even show up so that I don't have to worry about if I'm offending someone or not. And that's not necessarily what is needed. Pile number 4. At the bottom of the deck, you have dexterity, again with Taurus energy and Capricorn. A bad workman blames his tools. Nimble capability, finesse, skill, or delicacy in manipulating objects. So a bad workman blames his tools. That's absolutely not what you are. You're not going to blame your emotional capacity for faltering when you haven't had enough practice to share that emotional capacity with other people. This is just another way to say, get out there, flex your emotional, abilities, and prove to yourself that your tools aren't faulty. You just haven't used them in a long time, and it's time for you to start doing that again because people are waiting for you, and they will celebrate your re-entry into the world, into the emotional world. Is this it? Is this all? I feel like sometimes when an energy calls me, I will pull a few extra cards. Pile number 4, don't tell the other groups. I'm going to do some tea leaves for you. Don't tell the other groups. It has this, the portion that I picked up chain of events that will affect your life here. So I do believe that all of these things are connected. While you came here for an apology, which we will absolutely get to in 1 second, this chain of events where you're trying to explore yourself more and explore yourself in connection to other people, it is absolutely deeply affecting and impacting your life. What else, please, Spirit? For pile number 4, just one card. Yeah. Hills, obstacles to overcome. So you're absolutely challenging yourself to overcome these obstacles and these fears that you have. You have bear, danger, especially in money matters. But with the thrift card here, this is not something that you necessarily need to take into consideration in the fact of making major, like, first of all, don't make any major life change off of a tarot reading, pile number 4. But of course, I hope that you already know that, and know that if you were here thrifting and you were using your money, your pennies wisely and meaningfully with the right intention, and not because you feel as if you're trying to make up for emotional matters, you can be aware of the danger without falling right into the money trap in some way or form. That was just a separate message for someone. The hills, though, this is overcoming obstacles in regards to emotional matters, stifling yourself, keeping yourself hidden, and keeping your light dimmed. You're absolutely overcoming this, again, diplomatically, through joy, fairness to yourself and the other people that you're, connected to. You're learning how to show up, how to overcome any obstacles of connection or any obstacles to connection, and trying to really no longer distance yourself from the people who want to celebrate you and cheer you on in this life. Pile number 3. And so the apology from the situation may go something a little like this. I apologize, pile number 4, for making you feel as if you are not enough. I apologize for making you hermit yourself because it felt safer rather than being connected to people who genuinely care about you. I'm sorry that these wounds are continuing to deeply affect you to this day. You do not deserve those things. You do not deserve to feel as if your energy is thrifted and that it is not valuable, because it is. You have a gift and a talent of making people feel comfortable, and I did not recognize that as such a beautiful talent, and I am sorry for that. You have welcomed me with open arms. You have accepted me with open arms, and I have not done the same for you. And I am deeply apologetic of that. I want you to access your joy, not with what I have said or done in mind, because you have the absolute right to access your joy, despite what it is that I or anyone else has said. I'm sorry that this has caused a fracture in you and between other people. You deserve to be connected. You deserve to be celebrated. And you deserve to believe those things. I'm sorry that I could not nurture you in the way that you nurtured me, that I could not be there to uplift you in the ways that you have uplifted me. I'm sorry that I did not trust what it is that you were trying to give me emotionally. I'm sorry that I sabotaged whatever connection is that we had. Okay, this was your reading, pile number 4. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonated for you deeply and impacted you in some way that allows you to see what a beautiful light you are to yourself and other people. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to see you in another reading. Peace.